1-0 last two. We're underway. Kennedy tosses it in the air. Otten's on the way down. White may have slapped it wide. Picked up by Johnston. Gets a hand pass away. Fumble from Godfrey. Johnston goes again. He's been in very good form. Holland tips it out wide. McLean on the wing. Goes down towards centre half forward. Robbo edged under the football. He didn't took the mark. Nace on the overlap, pulls it back towards the middle. Willett said coming up to mid it was Chapman. Slaps it to Wattens. He fell over. Nace, pretty slippery already. Nace on the wing to half forward. Missed the target. Corey. Godfrey's in the road. Sends it back towards the half forward line for the D's. Ottens. Well done. Melbourne. Now Johnson alongside the centre circles. Penetrating kick inside the forward 50. Kelly was in front. Chance for Chapman. Picks it up. Lays it off. Falling to the ground. Ablett. Chapman hoisted high down towards full forward. How will this one bounce? Well, very high. Corey flicks it back over his shoulder. Taken away by Brown.
So Brown goes out wide. He's got Sylvia. Has a little run. Thought about a bounce, but thought better of a good idea. McLean wide, and Bruce takes the mark just inside the boundary.
But Jamar long in the square. He's up against Scarlett.
Back to McLean. And they'll set it up long with a high kick. Jamar's the man, Gary, you're right. He's one-on-one. Jamar, he got it! That is a great mark with a wet ball.
And the confidence of this team now to go to him will grow as a result of that. He's up against Matthew Scarlett. Matty Scarlett had a tough night last Saturday night against Barry Hall, so why not test him out when you're a little bit nervous?
Came in pretty low and flat, even though it was a long kick. He's a big man, and Matty Scarlett pushes against him and doesn't get the hands free in time.
Just to complete that confidence factor. Splits the middle. Melbourne on the board.
Defensive players, they're spoiling. They can be out of form in terms of their spoiling as well. Now, we know Matty Scarlett missed a couple of weeks through suspension. He struggled last week. You watch this. I just reckon his whole timing of this is out. He doesn't even get his arms up.
The ball is there now, and look how slow he's fist earlier. That's a very good call, guys. He's just probably trying to guard the square more than think about the pass.
Interesting situation for the Cats. Jimmy Bartell is out of the centre square, given the match-up they're chasing. Ottens hooks it down. Ling hand passes. Bartell coming off the line of the square, intended for him. Ottens has been busy. Corey kicks inside the forward 50. Chapman!
What a good mark, and what a good player.
Beauty.
These are the sorts of conditions that, again, would suit this man, I reckon.
Well, Bartram was in two minds there. He thought for a moment the players in front might touch it. He was caught between a rock and a ball place, reaching over the top too late.
Again, won the ball out of the middle, got it in there quickly, direct, shot at goal.
Chapman right behind him to level it. 25 metres out. Pops it through.
Good result for the Cats. As I say, they've been pretty ordinary around the midfield in terms of clearances in the last month. So this is a good win. In wet weather, it's going to bring it back, and whoever's the more tenacious is going to get those clearances, but that's almost directly attributable to a centre bounce clearance. Good player, Chapman. Bartram in his 6th game of league footy. That's a big ask.
9th goal of the season for Paul Chapman. Missed the finals last year with a hamstring injury, and they missed him. Ball up in the middle. Ottens versus White. Ottens in game 150. Got it to Ablett. Ling. Kick smothered. Corey. Highest kick getter for Geelong this year. Joel Corey is playing a good season. Enright had to get the kick away. Had an arm held. Robertson shovels it out to White. Too far out to score. He's a 2 kick from goal. He spots the target and he misses it. He hits Melbourne, and the Cats are away through the middle. Spearing pass from Melbourne hits Ablett. Got it on the wing, and he's held up.
Taken by Godfrey tonight, so he'll get a hard press tag.
High towards Gardner, couldn't take the mark. Johnston was there. Out to White. Rivers, Chip, and Bruce has got it on the wing for the Demons.
The half forward. Uze. Not a big crowd. He's expecting these conditions. Here's Bruce, who's been in terrific form. Runs inside the forward 50. Long to the kickoff line. Jamar's in front. Scarlett knocks it away. Dunn. Smothered off the boot. He goes again. Taps it down. McLean. No barrages. To goal.
Good ball. So you've got to barrack for a first gamer. Anyone in any colour, don't worry about the team. You've got to barrack for the first gamer, and he did well. Again, a great kick, top of the square. Look where he is, front and square, where you need to be. Had a shot, didn't get it, had the presence of mind then to hit it back down to McLean. I reckon that is fantastic thing. The thing about both these sides is when they get forward, go long and hard to the top of the square.
McLean's goal set up by the first gamer, Lynden Dunn, turns 19 years of age next week. He was a first-round pick back in 2004, pick 15, and this is his second year on the list. Nice takeaway. Corey couldn't get the handball away. Holland playing centre-half back this week. He couldn't find a target. Kelly back to Corey, dispossessed. White comes through hard. Nathan Brown, wide ball. Bruce will be the man. He's got a couple to beat, does well. Bartell trapped it. Green dived in hard. The tough ball together. Bruce gets it back. Kicks the half forward. Johnson couldn't quite grab it, and Melbourne does. Chips it wide and Ling for the Cats. He's got some space to move. Demons by a goal. Loads up. Goes long. Gardner. Good punch down by Rivers. White getting back in defence. Slips. Holland had a dodgy game last week. Picks up, tucks up against the boundary. Gardner across the face. And that would have been a miracle goal from Charlie Gardner had he kicked it, and it's out of play.
That sort of goal generally turns on a dry day, but so wet it just slid across the face of the goal.
Boundary throw in. Right full forward for the Cats. White unimpeded at the ball. Beaten though by Otten. Kelly held it as you saw. Brown took him down. Interesting, Jimmy Bartell hit hard on the far wing, reminiscent of round 3 last season against Melbourne on Friday Night Football. Knocked out. About there on the ground, and at about this time. Brent Maloney subsequently suspended for 2 weeks. Big leap by Sylvia. Spills out of the pack. Green gets a hand pass away. Bruce. Nicely worked. Johnston coming up 20 possessions last week. His season's high. Sylvia to Green, the captain tonight. Goes down towards half forward. Arriving quickly and doing brilliantly was Melbourne. Bartell at centre half back. Not much on. Kicks towards half forward. Setting Kelly a task. Brown beats him to the football. A run up forward is Rivers. Between the lines, Rivers goes down towards half forward. Davey's taken the mark about 75 metres out from goal. Dunn offers, and he backs the first gamer. Well done, young man.
He's on Melbourne, so he's got a big job.
He plays on immediately. Once again, goes for the kickoff line. Jamar is down there. Robertson, Egan over the top. Uze, did he have the football? Still he goes. Feeds it away from goal. Green pulls it back with discipline. Right to the line yet again. Punched away. Dunn! Snap! And misses.
I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to, Dermot, is the entry into Melbourne's forward 50. We don't see much of it these days at the top of the goal square, but it has been absolutely peppered in this opening 10 minutes.
It's been quite predictable, so they'll try and pick it off soon, but I'll tell you what, Cameron Ling would not want to see that on his personal tape, letting that tackle slip 5 metres from goal.
Sorry, Jim. Melbourne to Scarlett. He went for the torpedo, and he hits White. Chips it wide. Byron Pickett, isn't he paying his way? Short pass to Dunn. He's been in good form in the reserves. He kicked 3 goals from centre half forward in the VFL last week.
He's on one of the best defenders in the competition in Melbourne, who also likes to zone off a bit and get his own footy. Now, if you don't pay the respect to the first gamer, then it looks like Melbourne will go through him. So he's started his AFL career in fine fashion.
From Moonee Valley. And also from Essendon to Keilor College, which is Brock McLean's school as well. For his first goal in AFL football. Had a couple of chances. Nice off the boot. Good kick. The kid's on the board.
Yeah, and have a look at this. Always a great sight in footy. We get all the Melbourne boys running to the young man. Centre half forward. Tough position. Brad Miller out of the side.
Good size, 192 centimetres, 93 kilos. And he looks like he's going to fill out a bit more.
Derm, you would know better than anyone. All he needs to do is give a contest. That would be a very simple instruction tonight.
Well, the first thing he's got to do is forget his size and shape, even though it's good for him that he's put in that body as a kid, and just run. Just run to where the footy's dropping anywhere on his side of the centre of the ground.
Wouldn't the Demons love to find a tall forward? Maybe they have. Early going. Friday night football. Green towards half forward. Pickett has to wait. Decided against it. Knew something because up comes Robertson to take the mark on his chair.
Free kick.
Going the other way, is it?
He took him out of the contest, Darren. Straight to him, Russell.
Didn't see that.
One's up, Woody.
May well have happened though. Ben Wright up towards the wing. Egan plays on immediately. Looks towards half forward. Penetrating kick. Chapman the target. Knocked away by Carroll. Loves his own ball. Chapman's got him though. Now McDonald kicks it out of bounds on the full. Awkward situation, but he didn't do very well as it turned out.
Now Ablett one out in the square with Godfrey. Will they go long?
Couple trying to get back. Riccardi started on the bench. Loads up and goes long. Big pack tries and Rivers.
They're good hands.
Good to see him back in form after he couldn't make the team in the finals for Melbourne last year after winning the NAB Rising Star in 2004, but he's opened this season well. Did hyperextend that elbow in the pre-season comp. He's still got a strap, but he looks okay. Holland got a touch to it, and the ball out of play in front of Peter Riccardi, playing his first game for the Cats for the year. Needs to play every game from now until the end, including 3 finals. It is to play his 300th this year. Peter Riccardi. Penate takes it out of the pack. Wobbles it inside 50. There's Rivers again. Couldn't collect it. Gardner already had one snap at it. Lines them up and has missed to the near side.
Just didn't get balanced. Probably had, and it's not going to sound much, probably had half a second longer than he anticipated. I mean, leg footy, a half a second is almost an eternity.
Bruce and Green have been dominant at the moment, the middle of the ground.
6 possessions for Bruce, 5 for Green, 5 for White. Here's Green with the football to bring it in.
Well, I wouldn't think it's going to come out this side.
Play on for call. Man got close to him. He kicked it outside the 50. Rivers had it knocked away. Camped in front. Gardner looping hand pass over the top to Mooney. Now Wojcinski goes long down towards full forward, going back with the flight of it. Ablett. It's out of bounds in the pocket.
And Kingsley was signalling, why didn't you kick it to me? I only had a small player opposing me on that occasion.
Playfair trying to reach over the top. White though won it. Ablett stood up in the tackle, lays it off. Chapman snaps, and that looks a pretty good effort. A very good effort. His second.
Beautiful description, Dennis. He stood up in the tackle, Gary Ablett, and not only did he, I thought he was going to get a shot at goal when he gets this, but because he stands up, both hands become free and he offloads, and that's where the goal's kicked in. I mean, it's a wonderful execution by Chapman, but watch him just turn the hips and never gets taken to ground. He's such a strong, powerful little fella, isn't he? In fact, he's not that little.
We used to joke a couple of years ago, Dermot, that Paul Chapman was only in the team as Gary Ablett's chauffeur to drive him down from Torquay to training when Ablett didn't have a licence. Well, he needs his own driver now. He's a great player, Paul Chapman. High kick. Bartell. Had a stolen from him by Maloney, the 2 boys, ex-teammates who collided last year. Maloney caught. Did he get it out in time? Yes. Uze hacks it wide. Robertson, he's cut it off. No. It rolls out of play and will get a ball in. Maloney. Back into play. Mooney in the direction of King. Missed it. Rolling ball. Sylvia split. Milburn. And he rolls it back out of play and will get a ball in. Deliberate. Oh, boy.
Had nowhere to go, but
That's a tough rule.
it is.
Oh, wow. I mean, where do you go? Do you just place the ball on the grass and give up?
Well, I think what they're trying to say is get it up the line a bit further.
Oh.
Don't shoot the messenger.
I know, let defenders defend.
You've just got to illustrate that your objective is not to put the ball out. You've got to at least
I understand the rule.
it and give the umpire something to hang his hat on and let you off.
I don't like the rule. There's Uzo.
Oh, you're just dirty.
I understand the rule. I don't like it.
You're only dirty because Robbo's had a kick reversed already.
Now that is
Here's Green.
full flood on there for a long time, and still Melbourne were able to get a player on the lead. He started in the best fashion that he's started all year. Brad Green, left footer, beautiful kick, would be some sort of a silly chance.
Goals will open up for him inside the 50.
Good record from that.
Beautiful record, 67%. Wow.
That's going down now.
I knew it as soon as I mentioned it. Great record. He was a goner. Margin 7 points. Melbourne lead. Interesting game. This is Ling. Lays it off. Milburn wanders up towards halfback. Intelligent kick into space. Chapman runs hard, takes the mark. He started very well. Off his step. Gardner on the wing.
It's a little bit stop-start, aren't they? They go back and kick over the mark often.
Playfair over his head. The mark is taken by Holland. The juggled mark falling back did well to Carroll. An emerging defender kicked it down towards half forward. Robbo outnumbered, fell in front. Rivers. Clever hand pass. Got it to Maloney. Well, he tried to give it to anybody. There's no Melbourne player there, though. Gardner, Riccardi to Nace. Not a good kick. Bounces down towards centre half forward. Brilliantly gathered there by Uze to McDonald. He's at left half back.
The hero from last week, McDonald, with the winning goal. A 4-point victory over the Roos. It's a bad kick. Here's the villain now. Hadley. Sideways handball. Bartel kept it low. Knock it home.
Well, it's not often that players kick 2 goals in a row, but what's even rarer is when a player gives 2 goal assists in a row. Every time Gary Ablett's touching the ball here, watch this. He just looks at Godfrey, waits for him to be drawn, and then hands it over. And he goes the last one to Chapman, so he's got 2 goal assists in a row, Gary Ablett.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that James McDonald would like to have that kick again. It's 3 targets and kicked it in the catwalk.
Great leveller, James McDonald. Wayne said the winning goal last week. For Mark Thompson looking on. His first loss as a coach came against Melbourne. Bruce out of the middle. Long kick. Egan got a fist on it. Pickett just missed it. Slade's got a problem. Surrounded, taken down, and the umpire says he'll ball it up.
Good kick out of the middle. Strong contest. And there were 2 Melbourne crummers, and to the Cats' credit, they were right beside them.
White thumps it to space. Whoa! Over the top went Shelley. Corey dives in there for Geelong, and the umpire will do the business again.
Cameron Bruce again involved out of the middle. That can be dangerous, that.
Misting rain now across the MCG. Shelley with the outside of the boot. Sends it up towards the wing. Unlucky for Brown. Bartel will be first back. Leaves it for Wojcinski. They worked it up very nicely. Wojcinski slapped it to Bartel's advantage. Kingsley didn't have the football. Falling to the ground, Jamar crashing his way through down there. Chapman to Kelly, 60 metres out. Sends it long down towards full forward. Carroll. Andy Fisquist. He knocked for the cross. He wasn't sure which fist to go with, and eventually got it across the line.
None too impressed, Kent Kingsley, with the attention he's getting from Nathan Carroll at the moment. He's been to the umpires once or twice. Keep an eye on that.
Coming down heavier now. Ball back into play. Holland could almost have taken possession. Now he might be best to just do that.
Well, that's one of those ones when you should take possession as a ruckman at the boundary line throwing, but the rule is virtually umpired that out of the ruckman's mind to do so.
Bit of Dick Cheney got his mate in the scone.
Jamar, third man up. There's a hold. Ben Holland.
Thanks, Ed.
As you heard the call. A cross goal. Once upon a time that would be a sin in rain like this. Times have changed. Carroll. Uze with Chinsky. And he thumps it out of play. And it is driving rain right now with the Demons leading 20-19.
Now that is, sorry, that is a bad shot selection by Carroll. It's a 50-50. and a 20-metre pass in your own defensive 50.
Otten's backhands it down. Adlet off the ground. Now it's going to be a free kick, and it's going to Ling. Tackle before the ball arrives. Ling plays on in the rain. Long down towards full forward. You don't expect that sort of mark in these sort of conditions. Wonderful coming back with a flight of it. Henry Playfair will kick it goal about 15 metres out. A late inclusion tonight for the captain.
You know what? Wayne Carey played beautifully. Wayne Carey played beautifully in all sorts of conditions, but in these conditions as well, he summed it up very quickly. A lot of defenders in this situation, because it is wet and slippery, they're not as desperate. They think the conditions are going to spoil for them. When you've got a stationary pack like that, Carey would charge in a la Henry Playfair. I'm not sure Henry's at that sort of outing too much.
No, you'd like that. And he comes and kicks the goal.
I think the Geelong coaching staff probably breathe ever so slightly better when Henry runs into goals these days. He used to be treacherous with his shot at the big sticks, but this is good. When you look back, you take the sneak look when you're running back with it goes, as you call, and you can see your two opponents are shoulder to shoulder. You know they're going to ground each other, so if you jump over any of those sharp elbows or knees, and it's relatively safe, relatively.
First goal for the late inclusion, Henry Playfair, one of the two players Geelong got with the draft choices they received for giving Clint Bizzle to Melbourne. Kelly was the other one the Cats got. Explains tonight as well, and Bizzle's not. Ball comes wide to Rivers. Chips the kick. White. Flat clear of him. Kelly. Player we just mentioned. Wojcinski tries to pull it through. Caught. We'll get a ball up.
Brad Otten's some of his ruck work's been pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Good contest, but he's really giving his midfielders a good run here.
Ball up. Otten's. Corey was the third man up. Gardner got it to Ling. He got a kick away. Kelly, you need to turn around here. Can't go. Carroll comes. Drops the mark. Kelly's got him. Boundary line was the sanctuary. He missed it. Travis Johnston getting back to McLean. Wants to go to the open side. There's no one there. He'll have to come back this way. Nathan Brown. He's got Holland. He's got Rivers. He wobbles it in Rivers' direction. He made it tough for him, but he got there and he took the mark.
Did he ever make it tough for him?
Not a great kick, was it?
Like he was testing his courage.
Well, he passed the test. Rivers goes to Sylvia, right on the wing. Little chip to Davey. Down towards half forward. Brown overlapping, not required. Chips towards the pocket. Here's fielding the football. Nobody touched it. Runs out of bounds. Geelong by 5 points. Under 5.5 minutes till quarter time. Kingsley waiting his chance to come back on.
Now, Aaron Davey got that footy because Corey Enright had to go to Nathan Brown, and he was let run free by Kelly at the other end.
Coming away, Melbourne. Little chip pass. Johnston did well, deflected it. McLean has it now. 55 metres out. Goes long and sneaks it through for a behind.
If they're within 55 metres, Melbourne, there's no such thing as finesse, is there? Just hit that white top of the box in front of the goal.
Smart in these conditions, I would think.
Enright wasted no time to go to Scarlett, who heads it wide to Wojcinski. Pickett. Green had a good first term. Until then. With a holding the ball decision, the ball will come back.
Great to see this bloke back playing senior footy, Wojcinski. So important. Great leg speed.
For them.
He is.
The leg speed. They don't have a great deal of it.
To Riccardi. Long driving kick. Otten's the flyer. Took a big one last week. Couldn't hold it in the wet. Rivers has gone wide, and it's ugly. It's a Geelong free.
Did everything right except hang on to it. Bradley Otten's in the dry conditions, he would have gobbled that. That just slipped straight through his hand.
Oh, I tell you what, hit him in the through it.
Ling wasting no time. Goes to the square. Bartell! Big fly. Rivers holds this one. The second grab. Bell. Late inclusion for Melbourne. Slides it wide. White thought about the boundary line. Goes to Johnston, and they're away.
Johnston from half back. Precise. Surrounded with Robertson with the ball right on his chest. Robertson, a couple of heavy knocks last week in the third and fourth terms. Goes to half forward. Green, cleverly, but off the ball. It's going to be a Geelong free. Going to Scarlett. Not much to it. Yeah. Very little to it.
Now, with Geelong, all their forwards who are ahead of this kick, they run away from the kick. No one comes to meet it.
Oh, well done by Rook, getting on the end of Mooney's kick. Leading from the mouth, kicks inside the forward 50. Otten's in front, off hands. Gardner went to ground. White slipped over. Now he's got a problem. This will be interesting. Otten's crashed into him. Well done by Melbourne indeed. Holland knocked it across to Johnston, to midfield, and Jamar, in fact, in front of him. Green takes the mark. Green, alongside the centre circles, goes for distance. Not his best kick. Davey will need to go. Appeared to interfere with Melbourne. No free. Back goes Enright. Dragged off it by Davey. No free kick. Socket off the ground there by Egan. Opportunity now for Melbourne. Attracted a crowd. Bate could have been taken high. He's going to get the free kick. Bate, 45 metres out.
Put a lot of that down to the initial Aaron Davey tackle or pressure on Enright. He got Davey. Enright, he knew that he was coming. He knew he was going to close, and the ball stayed in. He debuted last week, Bate. He was very good. He played across half forward. He kicked a goal, his first kicking footy. It was a long goal.
Wearing number 6, someone with a sense of history with Melbourne. Shades of Frank Bluey Adams there, Gary.
Beautifully done.
On the 50. Well, Bluey was disappointed with that effort. But bounces about 20 metres out. Mooney gets a hand pass away. Riccardi under pressure. Kicks to midfield. Brown goes back with a flight of it. Bounces over the head of Gardner. Opportunity at the back for Playfair. Dragged down, but not before he knocked it on. Kelly could have been taken high. No free kick. Ablett slipped over. So did Brown. Brown on all fours. Opportunity for Wojcinski. He went down. Rook gets a hand pass to Kelly. Ricochets off Johnston. In goes Bell. Knocks it to his own advantage. Brilliant pick up there by White. Melbourne away. White to the outer side. To space. It skids on. Robertson fingertips to it. Egan against the line. Across the line. 2 minutes remaining in the term, and the clock. We're very wary of the clock. We've had all our faculties tested. At least Dwayne and I have this week, haven't we? How's your hearing, Dwayne?
That not a free kick to James Kelly. Sorry, Dennis.
I just watched the clock go from 1:59 back to 2 minutes. Maybe it's just me.
It was
rounded off.
It was fun.
Do you see that, Dirk? I would like an action replay of the clock right there.
I believe you. Down to Pickett. He was faster than the speed of sound sometimes. Couldn't find a target. Slade flips the handball back to Ling. Supposed to hack it out of the area. Marcel.
He's a little muddy, isn't he? Likes the wet weather.
Best wet tracker going, I reckon.
Goes the big torpedo. Not a bad option. Playfair was down there. Rivers, first up. Toe pokes it outside 50. McLean. He came hard, but he missed the ball. Ablett. Wojcinski. Back to Rook. Inside 50. Otten. 1, 2, 3.
Well done. It's just a simple thing. It sounds very basic, but it is something that players often forget. When he takes this mark, he lets it go accidentally, but watch how he turns his body to always keep looking at the footy. Now, some players don't do it. They just reach behind and try and think that it's going to stick, but he actually keeps his eyes on it the whole time and turns his body so he's always facing it.
Game 150 for Brad Ottens, 129 of them for the Tigers. This his second year at Catland, and to extend the lead. Starts it right. Was all wrong from the time it left the boot. Behind.
Now, Gaz, I've got a theory about wet weather and players out of confidence. Sometimes I reckon they back themselves on a wet day because they've got something as a get out. Yep. And I reckon tonight Ottens is going about his business. When he went for that high mark, he made the point. I know he took a great one last week as Johnston kicked it in, but maybe on a dry day he wouldn't have flown a few weeks ago. Great to see him back and backing himself. And we're seeing tonight what skill he's got.
He's got a big job. Ken Kingsley, no touches for the game. He's been benched.
Bell to Carroll. We're down to 22 seconds now. Geelong by 5. Good game. We like these conditions as well now and again. Here's Bate. Between the lines, half back and wing. Goes to half forward. Knocked away by Melbourne. Dunn slides in. Met solidly by the man coming in the opposite direction. Slade holding the ball. Well, I suppose it's the fair weather and foul. I reckon the Russian judge gave that a 10.
It's a long siren.
I reckon they heard it in Launceston.
That was a long burst of a siren. Hayden Kennedy got the whistle of the mouth that quick. He nearly swallowed the pea. Pretty good contest here at the MCG between the two oldest teams in the competition. Quarter time here. The Cats by 5 points.
Live from midday, Fox Footy Saturday Central kickstarts your day with opinion and predictions from the biggest names in the game.
I look forward to this one. Just woken up to do this interview.
Where is the body of David Neestat? Oh, mate, I'm flying.
Our skills they got us there.
I don't think it's just Neil that looking at. They were looking at us too.
Live match reports, breaking news, and key interviews from around the ground.
Will Mark Prosciutto play?
No, he won't play.
And legendary banter in the studio.
Dave, what's the go with the goatee on your forehead?
Saturday Central, live and exclusive from midday.
1990. The first qualifying round between the Eagles of West Coast and the Magpies of Collingwood.
A goal etched in the memory forever. We give you
Peter Dacos. We're home. Laid over his head to Dacos. Hemmed in on the boundaries. 1990 revisited. Goes a goal. Oh, kicks the goal. Oh, no. Dacos. Bang! Dacos.
your wife called.
She seems nice. Fun meets functionality with a new Motorola Razr B3X.
Hello, Moto.
On is the lead from Robertson. WrestleMania is back.
Yeah, and having the lowest prices, they're quite confident that actually when they're coming into the store, they're actually getting value for money. Love value for money.
4-litre British paint sealing white, only $29.98. Black & Decker 730-watt hammer drill, $99. Outdoor bistro blind from $88. 20-kilo rooster booster, just $9.99. If you happen to find a cheaper price on a stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%.
Your prices have been the best.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
This May, witness a worldwide premiere event. The rise of the greatest dominion our planet has ever known.
It really must have been an awesome ride.
Rome, engineering an empire. As we count down to the Soccer World Cup, follow the rise of the world game.
There's one thing that I wouldn't want taken away from me, apart from my family, it would be football.
The history of football. Ignoring the warning signs could prove fatal.
That is no time to be hiding, to be evasive, to be attempting to salvage a reputation.
Inviting disaster. It's the greatest story ever sold.
Legend is what is written or told when a story's truth is too dangerous.
Seek out the truth. Go beyond the Da Vinci Code. That's a mammoth May on the History Channel.
Monday, Speak to the Stars at 7:30 as Spider and the Ox join Clinton Gribus on White Line Fever. Then at 8:30, get the rivalry round wash-up as Collingwood's Simon Prestigiacomo makes a guest appearance on the couch, fresh from the biggest rivalry of all. 7:30, White Line Fever, 8:30 on the couch, live and exclusive Monday.
And we will continue to watch the rain, but it hasn't taken away from the spectacle. It's been a very interesting game of footy here. The Cats by 5 points. Paul Chapman very lively with 2 goals. Henry Playfair and Jimmy Bartell 1. Lynden Dunn, the first game, has got a goal. Brock McLean and Big Mark Jamar. kicked the first of the game. The Demons have made it pretty simple, Derm.
Absolutely. Look, some of these kicks are a little bit under pressure, but most of them, look, they're all 50-metre kicks. Now, by the end of this, you see how many times they go in. They've gone inside their 50 10 times. Look at that. That is doing grouping darts. 20 metres out from goal, those 3 there. Every time they're capable of hitting that position in the rest of this match, they will try and hit it there. Corridor, 44% of the time.
Good on you, Dem. Keep it simple in these conditions. Quickly down to Tony Jones. Tony, must be wet down there, buddy.
Really, Gary? Thanks for that, Einstein. Yeah, no, it's just been getting heavier and heavier. The rain is swirling from different directions now. The temperature's dropped considerably. So, as you say, the coach's main message there was just do your best you can in these conditions. So, both coaches pretty happy, though, it's got to be said.
We're happy we're up here and you're down there, Tony. Thanks very much, boys. Second quarter about to get underway.
Siren fest. Umpire Meredith tosses it up, knocked down by Ottens. Opportunity for Rook. Worked off the line of the football nicely, though. Sylvia in there. It's dished out wide, falling to the ground to Nace. Ling. Clear possession towards half forward, off hands. Off a step, Bartell down towards full forward. Gardner battling with Rivers. Still Gardner picks it up. Rivers takes him down. Kelly back to his own goal. Chapman forced away as well. They concede and go outside the 50. And they'll regroup as the ball comes across from Corey to Ling. Goes with an attempted spiral. Gardner reduced to the role of a spoiler. Knocked it down in front. McDonald did well. Green. Pickett sold into trouble. Holding the ball.
Tried to sink to the knees there, Byron, so he didn't appear to be ducked.
Didn't see him, did he?
No.
High ball. They'll compete about 5 metres out. Touched by Holland.
I'm a bit worried about Melbourne's scoring potential up the other end. Jamar has done well to kick the first goal of the match, but I can't see him bagging you any. And Robbo has been held by his opponent, Egan, to just 2 possessions. Uze needs to play close to the goal and hopefully get a mini bag himself again.
Johnston went quick to Green, who finds Nathan Brown.
Off the ground, Robertson, at the moment, so Egan has gone to Lynden Dunn.
Well, he's just going to make space behind him and lead up the ground. He's shown that already.
He went back to Carroll. He went too high. Carroll can make amends here. He can mob it up. Chapman's got him. Handball finds Ottens. Here's a chance for Ablett. He sharks it. He rolls it. Gee, he kicked a miracle goal last week. One of the goals of the year, and he had more time then to make something of it behind.
Get Dennis excited here. There's a little bit of Nathan Bassett about Nathan Carroll.
There is, isn't there?
Absolutely. You watch him now, guys.
Brown and McLean.
Dennis, that is.
Hadn't looked at it that way before.
And
McLean. Short to Holland.
A fan.
Holland to Green. Green runs through the centre square. Probing kick towards the pocket, and Bruce.
Interesting, Milburn's now on Bruce. Now, Milburn took front position by about 7 metres on that occasion, and the understanding between Bruce and Green is as good as any in the league, and he just knew. Watch this. See him at the back there? At the back, Milburn watches. He knows that Green's capacity to kick long is such that he can take back position, and he ends up the footy.
I always found that a backman who did that was not comfortable close to goal. It's more of a half-back flanker who does that. That's a
good-looking kick. Bruce puts it through.
It was almost like the backman who played that far ahead of you did so because they wanted to force you out wide on the lead. So it was their safety because they recognise that they can't go with you off the mark. And so if you get them out on the half-back line, you're already in motion. They'll play pretty close. So it might be worth trying to get him, if he thinks he isn't as good as Bruce on the lead, a lot closer to goal.
8th goal of the season for Cameron Bruce. He's having a good year. 8 possessions already tonight. Coming off a 23-possession game last week. McDonald shoveled out a handball. Slade over it. Forced to knock it out, but knocks it in White's direction. Cam Mooney with him. Handball missed the attempted target. Toe poke's not so good from Green. Davey under pressure. Players going through hard. Dispossessed. Johnston got it. He was caught. He got the handball out. Bruce. Green slips it inside 50, just misses Uze. Hunt hacks it out of the area, heads it wide. McLean's out there. Bell and also Ablett. Ablett's got 3 to beat here. Oh, he beats them all. Finds Slade kicks to half forward. Kelly can't get a mark on it, and he got the free for being held.
What about the Ablett magic? Beautiful it was to watch on the outer wing.
James Kelly just pokes it over the top. Not sure what he was trying to do.
Trying to kick it to the running Bartel with the flight.
We got Bartram. Rivers heads it wide, and Johnston's got it.
Wrong bar.
That was a typo. We read the script. Johnston towards half forward, skids away from the man on the lead. That's Dunn out of bounds.
And Dunn's now got Melbourne back after Bruce took the mark on him, and Egan goes to Cameron Bruce.
Bruce having another very good game. 9 possessions so far. Averaging 25 a game this season, a high of 29, a low of 23. A model of consistency. Down went Corey. Ball slow to release. Eventually hacked out of there by Tenace. Close to the boundary. A couple of Melbourne players make a mess of it.
Aaron Davey's a player that's got to get busy, Derm. He's only had the 2 possessions. I reckon at some stage they could push everyone up, kick into an open forward line
and
with
just beat him with pace back.
And let him run onto it.
White reaches over the top. Stolen away by Tenace. High ball to half forward. In front down there, Ablett. Trying to kick the ball out of midair. Carroll spills wide. Chance for Kelly. Brown right there with him step to step. That ball is wedged in there. Eventually Milburn spilled it. Chapman run down. Kelly dragged down. Kicks it about 15 metres. Inside the forward 50. Bartel. Brad Johnson, but not quite the effect. Otten carried Holland under the ball. Well done. Slaps it out. Wonderful stuff. Off his step. The kick from Slade. Ricochets to Holland. Holland out of the square then. Comes looking for Bate. Will he keep it in? Yes, he will. And he drives it long towards the wing. Uzo appear to be pushed in the back. No free kick. Lurking behind is Corey. In 2 minds. Kicks it across the ground then. Mooney. Been pretty quiet so far. Man on down the ground. Slade. He's got it about 60 metres out. Wasting no time. Bartel is the target and he's taken the mark.
Well, Will Slade followed Byron Pickett as Pickett was trying to press down into the back line. And Pickett stayed inside defensive 50, and Will Slade actually came back to try and make his way into the centre and be useful there. And Byron didn't come out with him, and what he did was become a very, very valuable link man without an opponent.
Interesting stats for Will Slade last week. 7 possessions, gave away 5 free kicks.
Most penalised player in the comp in the last month.
All right. There goes the kick from Bartel.
Now we spoke about Jimmy Bartel and what sort of a wet tracker he is. He's had 7 kicks, no handballs. He's got a very basic model when it comes to wet weather footy, and it's been very effective. Nathan Brown off. He's had a history of soft tissue. We'll get down on the dock and he'll tell us exactly what's going on with him.
Johnston. Holland slipped, but he got up quickly enough. Runs his full 15. Long ball, Uze. Front hunt under the ball. Still alive. Dunn. Does well the first gamer. Maloney. High kick inside 50. Bruce can't get a fly at it. Well played by Corey. Knocks it down in right. Good tackle by Bruce. Brings him down. Won't be rewarded. You betcha.
He was put. He put the left arm into the chest.
Arms are free and he took the tackle on.
Yeah, he did. He puts the left arm, tries to fend and turn. And his mind, he'd be thinking, I'll get that left arm free and dish off by hand.
Aaron Davey would be pretty happy too, because Enright, his man, that's the sort of crumb that Davey's got to get to. Enright led him into the footy, did the right thing, won it, but it was just a great tackle.
I don't think the Allen Iverson shorts helped.
They are big.
And once again, grouping the darts, where'd that kick go? About 25, 30 metres out directly on the spine.
He kicked the tough one earlier in the term. He's got 2, and the Demons have the lead.
Okay, you listen. Okay, you took the tackle on. When you put it up, you had a chance to offload it, but he tackled you. Okay, that's how I saw it.
And that is why Dermott and Jeff Gooshin are on first name basis at the moment. You are going to be the umpire's advisor at some stage, Dermott. I'm not sure when, but you described it beautifully, absolutely to the letter.
He's in league with the Geesh.
He is. Very, very tight they are.
You two, don't you even think of joining in, Wayne?
What? Tight game of football of the G then. 4 points the difference. Demons back in front. Umpire throws it up. Otten's on the way down, but beaten by White. Johnston for space. Good hand. Wide of the pack, Pickett. Over the shoulder. Slade. White, though, chopped it off. Godfrey picked it up. Back to Pickett. Forced to kick off his step. Missed by Rook. Ricochets across towards Melbourne. Now an opportunity for Mooney. Goes back to Ling. Kick. Dodgy. Getting his hands to the ball to Nace. Played it pretty well. Knocked it forward to Kelly. Intercepting the hand pass, though, is Godfrey in the opposite direction. Finds Johnston. Johnston left half forward. Plenty of movement up forward, but all coming to him. It was a little too early when it released. He goes across the ground on a collision course. Hunt wanted it most. Knocked it back towards the wing. Over the football is Sylvia. Well done indeed.
And well smothered.
Sylvia smothered. It comes up towards the wing. Opportunity here, Rivers. Nicely worked. There's Mrs. Avery. There's Bartram. Goes down towards half forward. Missed down there by Melbourne. Back he goes. Stumbles, was pushed in the back. Advantage will be paid. Ling, the short one, finds Gardner.
Half back. Takes on Dunn. Back to Mooney. Back to Ling.
I think that's the best ever.
I think it's a pretty good one.
Totally unscripted.
One of your best ones. Kick towards half forward. Carroll couldn't hold the mark. White gets the handball out, but it's to his opposite man, Mooney. He to Slade. Long kick. Kingsley, can he get back? Takes the mark on 50. This will test him.
It's got an important choice here, isn't it? Because he'll have to honour the lead. And if he kicks right to the line, it's more than likely he'll just get touched and a rush behind.
He gets onto it. And it's a behind. It had the distance, but only to the near side. Had it been straight to him, it wouldn't have had the count.
No, it would have just got to the hands of the pack on the goal line.
Johnston running hard. Only possessions for him. 10 so far.
He will look for something, Travis Johnston. It'll, he may go safe option, but he likes to pick something out.
And notice how Rook comes in close because he wants to tap it on the foot, just to make sure he can't get it too far away from goal.
Johnston outside the 50. McDonald up in front. Maloney gets the crumb hard against the boundary line. Chips it very high towards the wing. Bate. This ball really skidding on and bouncing high. Kelly controls it between the lines. Goes across the ground. And right in the centre of the MCG, Kingsley spots Chapman down towards half forward. Chapman been very busy. And that's a good kick. Good lead too by the experienced Riccardi. His first game tonight. Playing his 23rd match against Melbourne. That's the most he's played against any club, and he's played a lot of football.
And 5 years ago, even in the wet, you're just about back in to go this distance, but he wants to dish off.
A fine player he's been. Wow. That's final. Sold a puck. Gardner in trouble. There's a rouge. As the ball comes out towards the wing, and the mark is taken by Davey. Davey looks back towards the middle, and Maloney has it now. Plays on to Davey. Davey inside the forward 50. Going back and juggling the mark is Corey. Into space. Plenty of Geelong players around it, too many almost. Riccardi, more orthodox, again he cuts it up, coming through Rivers to Green. Now McLean tries for a spiral, wobbles off the boot. He realised that Scarlett was back, tried to kick it over his head, didn't succeed. Scarlett took the mark, and now Melbourne released it half back. Back inside. Joel Corey once more to half forward, awkward one to mark, Playfair up, missed it. Charging in Bartell, so wonderful courage. And that's a good call by the official, because Bartell really went hard at the football, and the 3 Melbourne players prepared to watch him.
That might be right interpretation, but that's being paid all year. Hopefully they are consistent with that, Riccardi, that short kick.
Godfrey's kick out fronted by Gardner tonight. They turned it over and then turned it back again. Maloney. The ex-Cat weaves himself out of trouble. Robertson just off the bench. That's why he's free. Pokes the pass, hoping for Davey. Bouncing ball, half a kick. Then right, half a tackle. And he gets the free.
He will be the most important player for Melbourne, because he just started to get busy. And when he starts to win possession, opposition get nervous and start to grab a jumper and all those sorts of things that give up free kicks.
You just love to see an extra 20 metres of free space around him. They're crowding around him at the moment.
He goes for the taunt. Davey is coming back, but not enough.
I know you can't set up because he's not a key forward. and you can't set up a whole forward line structure around him. But you think he's probably worth 3 goals tonight if they can just get a setup of a lot of space around him where he can run free.
Uze didn't have the football. We'll get a free kick. Uze plays on immediately. Johnston off the side of the boot. Davey just inside the field of play, and the boundary umpire in perfect position, as you can see, backing around the line. It goes in his direction, but he's not the target. McLean's got it. McLean in the rain. Will kick from about 35 metres. He comes back. Uze, who initiated this passage of play, off the side of the boot, falls in short. Missed down there by Gardner, taken by Bruce. Well played. Got the hand pass away to Sylvia. Kicks it straight up in the air. Wanders to the pocket. Johnson, who was headed for Robbo's chest there. Johnson got a fist on it. Let's go down to the dock.
Yeah, Dennis, just an update on Nathan Brown's been off the ground for Melbourne over the last 10 minutes with a left hamstring injury. Not the night to test it and coming back. Don't expect to see him again.
Hottons be White. Egan got a handball out. Brook, little ride on Green. Bate got a kick away towards goal, and Melbourne shuffles it through for a behind. Demons by 5 points now. What a play on quickly the Cats.
They're going to have players up the middle.
Garlop straight up the middle to Rook. He's got Riccardi as the runner. Gives it to Riccardi. He's got no one to kick it to, so he goes with a long bomb. Inside 50. Rivers read it well, but then dropped the mark.
The torque is a dangerous weapon.
Yeah. Harrell, did he duck into that? Is it holding the ball? Oh. It was 6-1. Nothing of the other.
Look at Kent Kingsley. Look at him screaming at his teammates up the ground about the delivery.
Meanwhile, Ottens does well in a tight situation. So too Ablett. Rook under pressure. They get it clear. Tenace from right on the 50. Oh, this is a beautiful team goal. That'll be on the highlight reel.
Well, this is the sort of night it is. You're going to have to scrounge your goals and just mongrel them and take your chances when you can.
Well, these two teams, although one is 16th for clearances, Geelong, and the other's first over the last month of footy, the other one, and that's Melbourne are number 1 for clearances in that time frame. Look at another aspect, and Geelong are number 1 in the comp for contested possession. So it's going to be a pretty line ball affair.
First goal for Tenace. Cats back in front. It's Holmes, beautiful tap. Chapman, that's a good option. Kicked it off the deck inside 50. Holland came hard, couldn't bring the mark in. Middle of a pack. Just keep it in might be the option for the Demons, and they do.
Let's go down to Tony Jones on the boundary.
Yeah, and as Ottens comes off there for a bit of a spell, the wind's picked up in the last 5 minutes or so. It's not a gale, but it's certainly favouring the Geelong end at the moment.
Jamar reaches over to try and do some ruck work. Didn't really get the ball. Rivers toward the pocket. Riccardi. Ablett reached over, plucked it, can't break free, threads his way through. Riccardi, centering ball. Ball knocked down towards Milner, couldn't break free. Still in there, Melbourne. Shuffled out. Gardner goes hard. McLean, Carroll, he missed it. Slippery, and it's hot in the kitchen. Roll by McLean. Tenace will get there first. Kick the last goal. Can he step one up here? 50 from goal. Doesn't get caught. Smothered by Byron Pickett. And what a great season Byron is having.
Yeah, his last month has been exceptional. There's the contested possession. Geelong number 1, Melbourne 16. You made mention before, Gary, about Bartell's being as good in the wet weather as anybody, perhaps even the number 1 player in the comp, if you could rank them in this area. Certainly what Gary Ablett is as good as they get when it gets breezy and wet. He's clean, isn't he? Oh, and so strong over the footy.
Cats by a point. McDonald gets a hand pass away. McLean's got the football. Advantages paid. McDonald is going to get the free. McLean needs to be careful. Steps around a would-be tackler in Riccardi. Nothing much on offer. Again, goes for that weapon.
Pick the bones out of that.
Yes, from behind the big leap down there, Corey. Yes, it gave them half a chance. Scarlett comes away. Weight of numbers tell the story. A little chip pass to Ling. His 8th possession of the term. On the wing, looks back towards centre half forward, pulls it back. Rook will need to go up in front. Knocked away by Holland. Riccardi had it, lost it. McLean flips it away. McDonald improvising. Just prods it out towards the wing, putting the body in Melbourne. Socket off the ground by Hunt. And it goes out of bounds. Melbourne with a lot of courage there.
I agree with you, Gaz. It is such a dangerous weapon, the torpedo, when you go forward, because it's so unpredictable. But when you get it almost, when it goes 100 metres in the air, it lets every defender get to the drop of the ball and just crowd it. And that's what Geelong had.
Here's Rook. Gets the crumb inside the forward 50. Coming hard to it, Kingsley. Ran into a dead end. Ling couldn't control it. Bate. Interesting hand pass. Godfrey. It's some time now. Back to Rivers. Whoops. Here's a slipped over. Rivers is stopped.
It's a bit composure.
There's silent protest in the back pocket. Over the top there, Enright. Forced to Riccardi. In he comes, and the mark is taken by Adem.
Good composure, shocking kick. He didn't have to kick it at all. He was just summing things up, and he thought he'd seen someone, and he just sat on his head. And Dermot's point on Gary Ablett is absolutely spot on. He's been very, very clean and strong over the footy. And goals very valuable. Got to take your chances.
So Ablett.
Tough kick.
Yes.
Oh, well struck.
Controls it beautifully under the boot. It was quickly done.
Good player. Very good player.
There was one. Well, I'll tell you what, Will. His brother was voted the greatest player of the 21st century, Lee Matthews. Kelvin Matthews, who went to Geelong. He was arguably somewhere down the line in terms of players and rankings. But when it got wet in that Geelong jumper, he was arguably the #1 player in the comp. There's a little bit about the body shape. Similar.
12 goals this year now for Gary Ablett, one of the 5 father-sons on this Geelong list that have played for the Cats this year. Pickett got one a little high.
Bring it back, got him high.
I reckon Brock McLean, by the end of his career, is going to be a pretty fair wet tracker too, dude.
A good muddy.
Yep.
Byron goes long. Robertson. He read that beautifully. He knew he didn't have to fly into Egan. He just had to read it all the way into the arms.
Right down the centre corridor. That is exactly where you want to be. Have a look at that. That's a beautiful shot. Right down the middle.
Egan fell over.
Even if he doesn't mark it, Crummer's there in a good position.
Once again, we've got that grouping of the darts going into the forward 50.
That's the knee problems he's had to deal with this year. He's only kicked 1 goal each of the last 2 weeks. And he makes it a 1-point ball game.
Now, I know that everybody will be up and running when the ball comes their way. This is a wonderful mark here, but just watch. And if intensity or the way you go about your footy from an outward visual stance goes for anything, Riccardi's run off and stood 2 metres from the interchange line, and it took 30 seconds before one of the Geelong boys jumped up and ambled on for him.
Russell Robertson, 9 goals this season, including 3 against the Western Bulldogs in round 2. Thrown up, Jamar was grounded before he knocked it down to McLean. It spills across towards Bruce, who kicks it down towards half forward. Coming up to meet it, Wojcinski settles, kicks beyond the wing, close to the boundary line. Coming across as Melbourne was looking downfield before it slipped to his fingertips and out of bounds.
Should say those strange noises that you're hearing of the umpires.
I wondered
puffing and puffing, not Dermot in the background here.
I wondered what they were. I've been around a bit. There's McLean. Kicks beyond the wing. Robertson fell over. Wojcinski played it in front. A scramble. McDonald, Robertson, Sylvia, clever. McLean goes back. Bruce with the kick towards half forward. Corey's got it. On the defensive 50 to midfield. This will be interesting. The youngster against a wily veteran with no hair. Opportunity here for Chapman. He's getting the free kick. Was he held it up? No, play goes on. It comes to Ling over the shoulder. Opportunity for Bruce. He's had a lot of football. And again, carries the day.
Hemmerling down.
Yep. Kicks inside the forward 50. Uze did brilliantly. That ball arrived very quickly. Down goes Corey over the top Bate. And Ling is slow to get up. There he is. Cameron Ling, chief possession getter in this term.
Have a look at this here. Clash of heads, was it?
Yeah, with Jamar. There's nothing underwater about it. Back of the pack. Otten almost slipped through his hand. Tonight to toe poke. Robertson cut it off to Bruce. Put the little handle back in Robertson's direction. It's tough. Uze rolls it inside 50. Get in there first. Corey. He was written. And Joel Corey takes the free for the Cats.
Got to learn from that, Bate, is when you've got to play in wet conditions like that under pressure, you do whatever you can not to give a free kick away. Now, hopefully, for everyone's sake, Geelong supporters especially, that is Cameron Lang, who's still out there. He's gone to full forward, grabbing the jaw. Let's hope there's nothing too severe to that injury.
Hunt, long launch of the ball, straight down the middle. White was there, and he's got it now off hands, off Mooney's hands. Spins around and spots the target. Davey, it rolls through his legs. Uze, good play by Davey. Uze sends it goalward. Corey, he says he's in trouble. They might rush it behind. Scarlett, cool, almost too cool, got to Otten. Being shut down, so he got the kick away just in time. Playfair couldn't take a mark. Rivers off hands, sends it by McLean. Possession number 12 for the term.
Ryan's it long towards half forward. 6 disposals in the last 6 minutes. Number 18 of the match. Bate. Rivers is hurt. That sort of night. Bate, meantime, about 70 metres out. Likely tight. Sets it up towards the middle. Working in front. Oh, he did the hard work. Robertson missed the mark. Wojcinski's soccer not too effective. Uze in the opposite direction.
Oh, what's your name?
Bartram slides in. Martell's over the top. Eventually spills wider. Tenace is taken down. And the umpire calls for it.
Colin Sylvia, that is, down after a bit of a clash with Paul Chapman.
Did you get it in the ribs or did you get it in the knee? I called watching knee. It was set up for something to go horribly wrong.
White bridged over Otten. Seconds ticking down to half-time. Hunt's kick smothered. Still under it. He's got it. He got it off to Kelly. High kick towards the centre. Bartram and Chapman. Chapman might be away here. He decides to tow it towards half forward. Holland. Bouncing ball left it for Rivers. Good option. And maybe they can eat the remaining seconds off the clock. McDonald, half back flank.
That was a classic case there of Cam Mooney. He ran to where the ball wasn't going.
Colin Sylvia jogging off the ground, so that is good news for Melbourne supporters.
And they chip it around, and the Cats will lead at half-time, but by the narrowest possible margin. And he gets a chance to have a sit down, but it's been a good contest in difficult conditions. It's been raining for the entire night. In fact, it's been raining for the majority of the day here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, and we have got one that's well worth watching. The Cats by a point, 6-6-42. Melbourne, 6-5-41.
Sunday, live and exclusive from 2, the Kangaroos and Hawks collide. Can the youth and skill of Hawthorn break down the cast iron spirit of the Shinboners?
They need a spark. That might be it.
Press red to get full digital control of this compelling matchup in the company of Clinton, Gerard and Wayne. Kangaroos Hawks, live and exclusive from 2. Then the winners live at 7:30 before Blues Pies and Lions Swans.
Now this place is rocking.
Hungry Jack's bacon double cheeseburger. It's something extra. You get double beef, double cheese, plenty of bacon, mayo. How do you top that? With mushroom sauce. Oh, delicious mushroom sauce. Makes your bacon double cheeseburger. Whole new something else. You know what I'm talking about? Go with the mushroom sauce.
The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
Win your mum a great Byron Bay getaway from Harvey Norman this Mother's Day. There are 103-day luxurious Byron at Byron Resort and Spa prizes to be won. Your mum can enjoy this idyllic lush rainforest setting with a carefree getaway for 2, including a 1-hour massage each in the Byron at Byron Resort Day Spa. Just purchase a great Mother's Day gift from Harvey Norman and mum's in the draw. Buy now and pay no deposit, no repayments and no interest for 18 months. Make your mum's day with Harvey Norman and the perfect hideaway. Byron at Byron Resort.
Otten's won! Will he ever come down? Oh, Brad Otten turns back the clock.
Your wife called.
Different life. Fun meets functionality with the new Motorola Razr B3X.
Hello, Moto.
Jones on Tuesday night, the man who was the linchpin of the Kangaroos backline. Bob.
Yes, he was the bald-headed Frankie Gummelton.
Plus the champion centre man from Tigerland,
Pretty boy Jeffrey Ray.
Then join Ron Barassi for some great 1986 moments from the Fox Footy Vault. All part of your legendary Tuesday night lineup right here on Fox Footy.
Friday night football at the MCG. It is rivalry round 6 of the AFL season, and the Cats and the Demons locked in a, well, titanic struggle, I guess it is. 41-42, just 1 point the margin. And he's got a titanic struggle, getting that big dog's eye down. But beautiful work at half-time when the rain's coming in. Don't worry about that. He's enjoying every single bit of that. Boy, it's been a good game. It's been a good contest. I don't think I'm any clearer on who's going to win this game than I was before the ball was bounced.
Well, actually, I've got to say, Gary, I'm very uncertain because the last time Dwayne and I had this margin, both teams got 2 points. So if I sound uncertain, I am.
No, they didn't.
Didn't they?
No, one team got 4 points.
Oh, that was later, but no, at the time.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Don't get technical with me.
Now, I'm just looking out. I'm not sure if the rain stopped, but it certainly is not as heavy as it was earlier in the evening. Travis Johnston running the boundary line, albeit in a non-too-convincing fashion. He's not too great, does he?
Going a bit of time here, are we? I was just going to tell you about the story I put to Chris Judd on Tuesday night.
Oh, anything about Chris Judd.
Well, Chris Judd does a piece with us on Tuesday nights in Perth on Channel 9 News, and he's coming along beautifully on telly, actually. He's mastered disdain. And he treated me with a lot of disdain. I'll come back to that later. The doc is right, I'm told. Let's go down to the doc.
Yes, Dennis. Nathan Brown, we mentioned the hamstring injury early in that second quarter. Bit forlorn. He's had a few troubles with soft tissue and, again, limping to the boundary, so the Demons are down 1.
Travis Johnston just running the boundary, Doc. He's hobbling a bit. We'll get back to you. You just check up on that one.
Jump on the footy.
Obviously, the director had heard the story. Ottens knocks it down. McLean out of the middle. How could you do that? Inside the forward 50. Bruce missed it. Wojcinski comes away. Punishing kick too beyond the wing. Going back, Ablett. Lost it. Found it. Feeds it back towards Ottens. White came charging in. Kicking in danger. Ottens the free. To Nason the long sleeves now. Kicks inside the forward 50. Off hands. Loose at the back. Well done, Green. Spiked it. Only as far as Ablett turns around. Beautifully done. Bartel.
Just a little stiff nudge under the footy on Simon Godfrey. You'll see it here. Look at that. It's just a touch and then the finish.
He knew where he was kicking it before he actually raised the eyes. Just the awareness of what was ahead of him. He knew Bartels had run forward.
Bartel 10 metres out directly in front. Gun barrel straight.
Simon Godfrey's got the job on Gary Ablett now. Simon Godfrey in and out of this Melbourne side. If he's going to maintain his position, he's got to be able to manage these sorts of players. And it's a tough ask because he's in very good touch. He's playing a half-back flank. And right now, Gary Ablett is almost, well, he is the most dangerous player on the ground.
Yep.
And that's what Simon Godfrey's got to be able to do.
Nathan Brown, whose night's over. Travis Johnson looks like he's ready to come back on. 7 points the margin, the equal biggest lead of the game. McLean, McDonald, Davey will be the chaser. Can he get there? Uzo will get there first. The bounce a little more kindly for him. Clips the pass. And that's taken by Dunn. We're far out to score, and he knows it. And he spears a beauty to Cameron Bruce. Wow. He's got some awareness for a first gamer.
Yeah, good result. The one thing that forwards love is when somebody has a static kick, it's very difficult to get on the lead and get on it with that kick. But as soon as a player plays on and swings onto his foot, you can read a player when he's in motion. And Cameron Bruce, reads that when Dunn swings around, he's on the lead already.
Kick 2 in the second term, and he's sprayed this one. Only a behind. It's a goal the difference.
Round 3 last year, 30 possessions to Bruce, 3 goals, 1, 7 marks, 3 Brownlow medal votes against the Cats here at the MCG under lights.
Let's go down to the dock with some news on Johnston.
Yeah, he's been carrying an injury since the first quarter. Dennis had a bad foot sprain. They've re-strapped it. He's been limping a little bit, and he'll be getting back on, but he's definitely limited.
Rivers twisting it forward. Chapman backs through the pack. Rivers trying to push him up the line of the football. Improvising Chapman going about 30 metres, knocked across the line by Holland. Travis Johnston. He's a key, but not there. Boundary throw in, about 25 metres around from the behind post. Ottens flicks it down behind. Chapman did well. Awkward one for Kingsley. Ottens has been terrific tonight. Shelley under pressure. Little chip pass. Well, barely a pass. Carroll came up to meet it. Deflected it across to Green. Green out wide. Uze. Close to the boundary line. Uze. Not much on offer. One-on-one contest. Edged at the football was done. Well played by Hunt. All the time in the world now. Kicks back inside the forward 50. Coming up to meet it down there is Gardner. Ablett a chance with the side boot. Can he get a second kick? He can. He dribbled a goal.
Let's just talk about the presence of mind and the thought process he goes through. Perhaps the ball is sitting on the wrong angle that he can't take out a hack at it right then, because most players would, and it could have, it was too far out, it might have hit the wrong side and it could have gone for a point. So what does he do? He dribbles it. He described it beautifully, Des. He dribbled it closer so it was a surety, and then he shields it from Godfrey and kicks it with his left. This is just wonderful, wonderful footy. There's too many things that could go wrong from that distance, so he dribbles it closer.
Yeah, he's too good for Simon Godfrey. He's just too smart, so Bell goes to him now. He's almost BOG.
He's given away 3 in his kick 2, Gary Ablett Jr. and White gives this away. It's an ace. Trying to get a toe poke on it. Uze trapped it. Ling. Uze trapped him. McDonald missed it. Tenace over it. White tries to slap it out. And a trip. It'll be a free kick to White. It won't be play on advantage. It'll come back. Jeff White, who of course in that final, elimination final against Geelong last year, had his face almost caved in by the boot of Stephen King. 14 screws and 5 plates in that face now, and King didn't play tonight. He kicks inside 50. Big leopards go up. Dunn didn't get a chance to do the Ablett toe poke. Wachinski, and he finds the boundary line. A good option from Wachinski. Let's go down to Tony Jones.
Well, fortunately, the weather conditions have improved considerably. Dwayno, the rain has stopped. It's just spitting now. The wind's dropped. And I've got to say, too, a lot of people waiting for the end of Dennis's Chris Judd story. Sounds good.
No, it's not that good. Over the ball, Bartell. Green in trouble. Davey snaps from about 30 metres. It bounces down towards full forward. Getting back is Enright. In trouble, but he's got some help. Scarlett does nicely. Kept his head. Spots a man in Wojcinski. Wojcinski at half-back, under pressure, goes for distance. Not a bad spot to kick it, actually. There wasn't much on. Bell completely misjudged it. He's very conscious of Ablett. Ablett gets it across. Gardner, 70 metres out. Gardner concedes some ground. Kingsley steps around Carroll. Sends it long down towards full forward. Ling goes up, hands to it. Couldn't complete the mark. Mooney has been awarded a free kick. Disbelief.
He came straight at him.
Wow.
He is. I'm big on players not having eyes on the footy.
He had eyes on the footy until he got slung.
Yeah, that's why I'm not sure about that one, to be honest.
Clever by Cameron Mooney to move the eyes. There's Mooney, 15 metres out, kicks the goal. Oh! Holland is down. In the weakest backlash, this is what we want.
Clear away, guys.
Let's have a listen.
Oh, he's kind of shit.
Can't just fall over, right? Stop that one.
Oh, dear.
Well, he made contact, but it wasn't that hard.
Oh, inconclusive again, Dirty.
Cheek to cheek, that's not hard. Come on. He did make contact, and then he decided to go down and...
Been up a few times in the past. Cameron Mooney a couple of times.
Safe as hell.
Last year he got done for striking for one game, and he got
a hit, though.
Done for arguing with the umpire. He got done for wrestling last year. He might be in trouble again. Ling kicks to half forward Riccardi. The Cats are hot though. That's the main thing. Gardner from 60 out. Loads up. Here's Mooney. 1-on-1. Can he get a toe on it? No. Only behind. It might be on again.
I tell you what, Cam hasn't been playing that well.
We've got to see it again,
stung him. Now, it's cheek to cheek.
Oh,
cheek butt.
Maybe you talk about headbutts. He's got to dip the head into him, and the top of the forehead is what made contact.
I think you said it best last Sunday, actually, Derm. What was it? Butt gusting.
Anyway, Gary Ablett set that goal up again, by the way, boys, and he has just drawn all of the attention to himself, and he's carving him up. Davey's got to become what Ablett is to Geelong right now. He's got to get busy.
Here's Mooney towards the 50. Plenty of Geelong players there. That's a great grab.
He's been good, Otten.
Hasn't he?
Played a big man's game.
Yep, goes across the ground. Chapman leads back in the race now. A couple to beat Chapman. Pickett closes. Two hard guys right there. Down they went. Opportunity for Johnson. Chipped it with intelligence across to Enright. Inside the forward 50. Hangs a long time in the air. Kingsley had it knocked away by Carroll. Running out of space. Jarred out of there, and Rivers just escorts the ball across the line.
Oh, there's the big tackle from Pickett. All of a sudden, Melbourne are allowing the Cats.
Oh, don't mind.
Yeah, good 2-second effort. 1 and 2 bucks behind the footy, and they just can't penetrate through half forward.
Ball on down to Carroll. They got away from an attempted tackle from Mooney. White got the handball out to Bell. And now the clearance from Pickett. Wobbles it towards the wing. Offhand.
The problem.
Egan.
The problem.
Being played on Geelong's terms now. Johnson to Corey. And now to the open side to Playfair. The runner is Riccardi. He's on the left foot. Loads up with a torpedo to the square. Bartell's down there. Hits the back of the pack and it rolls through Corey behind. The good attacking, long kicking footy by the Cats.
They have definitely altered the way they're going into their forward line now. Everything is like Melbourne's forward 50 entries in the first half, and they are very dangerous.
As they initially took advantage of Gardner's problem, but had to hesitate in the pocket.
3 metres.
Cameron Bruce has got the football now, but Melbourne playing with a lack of conviction. Something they certainly had in the first half.
Bruce has had to come up and get some footy because he's virtually been playing centre-half forward, but just hasn't been able to get into a contest.
High ball towards the wing. Holland. It was pretty unfortunate moments ago. A couple of times.
I'll just separate you two. Kennedy and Brereton head-to-head. That's something you'd like to see.
Where do you stand?
Right between you two.
Have an opinion, Gav.
Yeah, that's not an opinion.
Oh, I'm happy to. I couldn't get a word in between you two floggers.
Egan. Back to Corey. Touched off the boot close to the boundary line. It bounces out.
So what was your opinion there?
Totally unnecessary from Cameron Mooney. Should have been a free kick at the centre bounce, not reportable.
Was it a free kick to Mooney initially?
No.
So you're on my side, so you take it.
No, you're suggesting it was reportable, Ben.
Well, I think it will be looked at.
It'll be looked at, and then they won't do anything about it.
Is cheek to cheek in there? Is that covered?
Oh, Philip Fitzgerald.
Dirty dancing.
Trying to charge his way through his...
Now, young Lynden Dunn stays at centre forward. Robertson's got to start to get busy. Egan's done a pretty good job on him, it must be said. Jamar and Scarlett team. Not sure where the winners are for Melbourne on the forward line.
White bumps it goalward. Bartell hurriedly down towards half forward. Bell. He's been uncertain. Ablett again. Gets a hand pass away. Corey.
We'll get it back here.
Shelley. Dropping back is Ablett. He's kicked it over his head. He could still go on and crumb this one. Loose ball. Guess who? Ablett. Twisting, turning. Well done by Pickett to slap it loose. Taken by Gardner. Clever kick. Oh, what a beauty. Oh, and he's celebrating his hunt before the ball arrives.
Yeah, now that is cocky. That is extremely cocky, Josh Hunt. He's had his colours lowered early in this game, so I'm not sure whether I'd be just laughing the way around the footy field at the moment.
I think, in fairness, he may have been celebrating the kick, don't you think?
Well, either way, Dan, go back and kick the goal, son.
Okay. I'll get it, Gaz.
Yeah, he's laughing.
That's what happens. Life
or karma, Dennis?
Both.
Travis Johnston kicks long. Rivers. The target, it skims to him. around the body. He's hoping for Jamar. One-on-one with Mooney. Mooney edges in under the ball. Nice handle back to Corey.
Can't get past the midfield on the outflow now, Melbourne.
He loads up. Bartel's going to have to leap against 4 here. Almost brought it down for the mark. Knocked it down anyway to Slade. Hunt. Inside 50. Bouncing ball. Kingsland. Carroll. Carroll did well. Knocked it to his own advantage. Keeps it alive. Didn't want the boundary line. He wants Uze. In fact, he goes wide, and it's Rivers in the long sleeve jumper in this second half.
Blow it up, come backwards, because there's nothing ahead.
They've lost their structure.
Yeah.
They've lost their forward line structure here.
Godfrey to Pickett, back to Rivers.
Don't blame these blokes at all.
Bruce, now Godfrey. They've messed around with it. Can they find an option up forward?
Well, you don't want him kicking it to a target.
Kick with the shocker. McLean made it look okay. Missed Bate with the attempted handball. Byron Pickett to Davey. Chips it, and Bruce has got it wide.
Looks around. A full 360. Now he plays on. Bounces it emphatically. Down towards right half forward. Long ball towards full forward. Robertson against 2. Is that a mark? Play on the call. Robertson quickly onto the boot. Wide of the mark, out of bounds on the foot.
And he got the footy that time, Robbo, but what you find in wet weather type of play is that when they kick the ball to a designated area, Egan knows where it's going, and he's a bigger, taller person, and he's able to get there before Robbo and pretty well spoil away. Robbo has to rely on a Lee, a Mark.
Corey.
Good delivery.
That was bad delivery. Bates got it inside the centre square. So Melbourne a bit of chance when they get the ball in this area to get some structure. Kicks inside the forward 50. Green from behind. In effect, jarred it out of Jamar's hands. Robertson to Dunn. Lines up and kicks him second. Well, youngster is leading the way.
You call they've lost their structure, Gaz. The one player on their forward line who is still playing, out of the rule book as to how you should play, whether he's getting it much or not, is this young boy. He's leading up, and then he stands in front of the pack once the ball goes over his head.
Double-edged sword, Dermot, because the other player that's been the big thorn in the side this quarter is Melbourne, has just been dropping back off him and being a big thorn in the side, as I said.
Second goal for Lynden Dunn. Melbourne still in it from the ball up. Knocked down to Maloney. Just chips the kick. The lead from Dunn. Got there. Got a hand on it. Kept it to his own advantage. Enright made it tough for him. Melbourne. Looping handle from David Johnson. Terrible. Uze nearly cut it off. Slip from his grasp. Johnston. Now Maloney. Johnston's still down behind play. Maloney to Pickett. He'll play on. He'll go to Bruce, you would think. No, he's dropped it. Run himself into trouble and out of trouble. McDonald. He's got Robertson long. That's where he's going. Robert. That was a huge leap. Couldn't bring the ball down. He set himself for it. And the Sharon eluded him. Johnston's there. Davey dives in. Ball still alive here. Bate goes in. Can't get out. Pack finds Wojcinski the tackle. Bruce. Davey. All this on attacking 50. Picked up by Kelly for the Cats. Hits the leading player in play fair, and he was paid the mark. Held it long enough.
Well, call me controversial. I would have paid Robbo's mark. There's Chapman. Goes with the outside of the boot. Missed there by Kingsley. Playfair's got it. Chapman now 60 metres out. Long down towards full forward. Bell leads back, and it's out of bounds.
Matthew Whelan is there, Robbo. It was certainly a magnificent leap. He probably had no other choice because he was outnumbered. That is a fantastic leap.
There's been a Gary Moorcroft about it on the way down, wasn't there?
Meantime, back of the game. Here's Rivers. Still going. Well played. Knocked it forward. Bruce to Bell. Bell. Well, he's had that sort of night so far. Holding the ball.
Good tackle. They missed the foot. Good pressure. Ottens is down long.
He's got the free. Bell was developing so well late last year. Bad injury. They've rushed him back. And that's what Neil Young said. There goes the kick. Misses to the near side of behind.
Well, they did rush him back, and given the performance of Ablett tonight, wouldn't they love to have had Matthew Whelan out here, Melbourne? It's not to be.
His sort of night, isn't it?
Yeah, it is indeed. But I'm not sure even some of the things that Ablett's done, I'm not sure Whelan or Louis Adams, for that matter, Dennis. could have stopped him.
Get it going!
Not now.
Play on! Play on! To the play on call. Chip kick, Uze. Back pocket. Got Maloney free. Sees him. Hits him. On defensive 50. Gets a Shepherd from Godfrey. It allows him some room. And he sends it long. Lynden Dunn. Off the bounce. Once again. Taps it to his own advantage, but he missed it. Corey. Enright. Turnover. Bate. Robbo's on the lead. This is a bit easier for him. He gets there.
So much better to have an open forward line like that, one out contest, and what class and skill from Bate on the left, if you don't mind, then.
Has he got a nickname?
Oh, he has now.
Of course he has. Louis Bate. That rolls off the tongue.
Better than some of the alternatives, put it that way.
Ollie Pavlich last week, we got them all.
Big kick this for Melbourne. We're about the ticketed time on third term. From 50. Oh, nice off the boot. A sensational goal for the King.
Doesn't feel like it, Dermot, but it felt like about a 7-goal difference between the two teams over the last 15 minutes, but it's back to 10 points. Melbourne have just got to manufacture it so they are one out up there.
Yeah, wet weather. I mean, you have a look at the 4 behinds more of those kicks, and that's where probably 4 shots at goal, where you're used to seeing the ball up in the Geelong forward line this quarter. But wonderful thing about these games, isn't it, when they played in wet weather, keeps the score so close it's alive till the end.
Thrilling game of football in trying conditions. 10 points to margin. White slaps it down. Ling controls it. High kick. Dropping back is Rivers. Perhaps has tried the chest mark. He's going to get the free in any case. Made the decision to punch. Missed the football, but the man coming back on him interfered.
Cameron Bruce started loose across half-back, which means Joel Corey is his corresponding opponent. There's Bruce. Corey now is back across the half-back line for the Cats.
Melbourne have made their move in the last few minutes. And this is getting attacks from further up the ground. This is where they get into trouble. Starting deeper out of defence.
When they can run through the middle, Dennis, and get it up one out, they do look dangerous.
Bates kick not good. Melbourne, plenty of time. Ling over the top. Riccardi's at left half forward. Drew a man, pops it to Hunt, who pulls it back, intended for Chapman. Oh, what a clever kick.
And return the favour to his teammates there. He received one 10 minutes ago down the spine.
Let's go down to TJ.
Well, you might have been wondering before why Josh Hunt had that big grin on his face after he took the mark there. Well, the guy standing next to him was his good mate, former teammate in Brent Maloney. So a little bit of one-upsmanship between the boys.
Right up to the point where he kicked a point.
He who last. There's Chapman. Right behind him. And that is a beautiful kick. Geelong re-established their margin.
Well, he's 3 goals in these conditions, that it puts you up there, right amongst it. Just such an important player, body strength in these conditions. This is a beautiful kick from Josh Hunt. That is just well thought out. You see Jared Rivers there, loose man. He was heading to the goal square. That's where he thought the footy was going, and I guess most people in the stadium did, but he brought it back across his body and found Chapman, who went on to kick truly 3 goals. Great contribution.
3 goals now for Paul Chapman. Back in the middle, Otten, Kelly, Enright, Ling. To half forward to Riccardi. Ball thumped clear of him. Maloney trying hard, got it to Bruce. And now to Bate. Can he hit the target this time? The lead comes. He pokes it in front of Robbo. He couldn't go to the goal square because there was no demons there, and 2 Cats were there, and the ball out of play is probably the best of all possible options for Melbourne. They keep it in their forward line.
And they did go to the goal square at the start of the game because they had a target. They won as much the footy here, but the Cats have been better and more efficient.
White down behind. Bate. Like to kick it now, just goes for distance. They've got men back this time. Wojcinski lost his opponent. Davey found the football.
Look there. Go to the goal square when you can. Not 4 against 1. You go to the goal square when you're just 1-on-1. That's all. You don't have to be out on your own. You don't have to break into a lead. This is a bit of magic here. That's just some ball use. Davey, he holds one of the keys to the whole thing for Melbourne. He's been relatively quiet. The other end, Chapman and Ablett have been superb. These are the sort of things that he's capable of.
Clarence Davey was the man who turned it around last week. 3-goal hero in that 4-point victory against the Kangaroos, and can he inspire them again? 10 points the margin inside 5 minutes to three-quarter time. Tenace couldn't get a kick away. McLean knocked it past him. Maloney playing an inspired game too. High kick. Robbo was he outside of it? Yes, he was. Umpire thought about a play onto advantage. It wasn't there. It'll come back to Russell Robertson.
Yeah, not sure who summed it up here, but Egan, they had 2 on 1 going there. He just didn't need to do that.
Yeah, no. I'll tell you what, off the 5-metre board, he'd have got points for that.
He accentuated it, but it wasn't there.
He didn't need to do it because he had Scarlett in support. And he had him under the footy anyway, I reckon. That's what happens, though. A bit of panic. Big long kick forward.
He cut the margin back to just 4 points. Well, he starts it right. But it's a 9-point game. Melbourne to bring it in. 10 times at the G. Both sides, 2 and 3. There's Scarlett in the pocket. A win tonight. You're back in the hunt. You lose tonight, you're losing touch. Scarlett told to play on. Drives it out of the back pocket. Long towards the wing. He's got a push in the back. I think Mooney will get a free kick, will he? I think he will. No hands there. It seemed to be all chest from White. Normally it's hands. Was it face? Well, gee, we see players use their hands and they don't get penalised. Here's Hunt anyway. He's got the football. Having a good turn.
Been better after being moved up the ground.
Yep. Telling kick inside the forward 50. Big leap from about 3 players down there. It was Carroll at the back who knocked it down. And the umpire called for it. Thompson. I said earlier his first loss as a coach against Melbourne, round 3, 2001. McDonald wide of the pack, kicked it up towards the wing, skids on. Robertson did well, backed himself against the bouncing ball. McLean, wonderful second term, wonderful kick right there. Pickett, I think he wanted to go. Slade did pretty well.
Gee, the McLean kick was great because there's absolutely nothing ahead of him. Not one Melbourne player ahead of him.
Green. Well, how about that for finding space? Bate.
Well, these come from the opposing half-back flank, so he's run 100 metres through the play there to get into space and receive.
Kicked a goal last week from about this distance.
He's had a couple of good kicks tonight. The others have been less than convincing. I don't know if he'd be all that high on confidence, but he gets time to settle on this one.
Bate directly in front. Kicks from right on the 50. Oh, well done. Well done.
And looking at his completion rate of his disposals tonight, he's only running at 43%. So he's not actually kicking all that well, but he's had a couple of crackers. And he's had a couple of shockers, but he gets into space, he does it well.
More worrying for Geelong is that now too many Melbourne players are getting forward to centre, running down with the fly to the footy and not being picked up.
Matthew Bate, 11 possessions and a goal on debut last week. He's got 11 possessions and a goal tonight, and there's a quarter to go. Good tackle by McLean. And we'll get a secondary ball up.
Yeah, Dwayne, I don't like the loose man back, which Melbourne have allowed, but I've got to say, what's happened now is they're not sure who they're playing on. Melbourne players drifting forward at their leisure and not being picked up.
Mooney and Maloney on hands and knees. Ball comes out of the pack. Bate, half-back flank. Ablett trying to shuffle it out to advantage. Slade, kick smothered. Bate playing an inspired few minutes. Kick not so good. Mooney's trapped it. Side steps. Slade. McDonald and Ling Good battle that. Both went at it. Ball comes out to Pickett. Can he set it up? Loops it over the top. Good ball. Green. Spearing past Robertson. One grab, not the second. Davey. Sidestep. Shoots it. And White's got it. And they can take the lead to three-quarter time, the Demon.
Russell Robertson's been the spark this quarter, along with that man Aaron Davey. They have bloomed as the two. Bit of magic. Look at this. He just shreds the needle there, right through the middle.
You're so right with that, Gaz, because in the first half they were getting great efficiency out of their kick the ball long to the spine, but in the last 10 minutes their structure is better when they've honoured, on every second occasion they've gone into their 450, they've honoured the Robertson lead. Now it's spreading the Geelong defenders.
They were 21 points down, the Demons. Now they lead by 3.
Well, they show a bit of character and take your hat off to Neil Danaher by setting up in the manner that he did. Again, I'm going to say I didn't like the structure, but what it's done is it's promoted more Melbourne players to run. Geelong have had a loose man in the back half, so that means when they do get possession across the middle, and Pickett's had a fair say in this, they know that they can't go long, so they look a bit laterally, and then it forces Melbourne players to run into that space. And Geelong boys, not sure who they're on, been a bit lazy on the pickup.
Brad Green, 16 possessions. Doing a fine job as skipper tonight. White on the way down, directs it down, intended for McLean. Maloney reaching over the top, and the opposite direction is Rook. And he drags the pack about 5 metres. 9 seconds, third term, Friday night football. The rain has stopped for the last 10 minutes or so. Still very slippery out there. Demons lead it by 3 after they really fell off the pace in this term. And again, Rook.
Now, there's Joel Corey. He's just sitting in front of Russell Robertson. Hasn't got an opponent. Now, if they win the centre clearance here, he doesn't know where to go, which player to go to.
Melbourne knocked it forward. Enright in trouble. Hand passes straight up in the air. Rook once more playing with great heart. Was taken down. Eventually White hoisted high. Corey has to wait. Robertson did brilliantly. Gave a contest. Got a fist on it. Down goes Johnson. Got boots the ball. McLean met solidly. Sliding in there was Enright. Picked up by Ling. Kicks it beyond the wing. Geelong outnumbered. Worked off the line of the football Bartell. Back goes Godfrey. Aided by a good Shepherd. McLean comes out to Davey. Davey a little too slick. Gets the ball back though. There's the siren. Three-quarter time of the G. Geelong led by a point at halftime. And they've got out to lead by about 20 midway through that term. But Melbourne have come storming back. Three-quarter time. Friday night football. Melbourne 11-7-73. Geelong 10-10-70.
Couldn't get to all 8 games? Then catch the winners for a complete wrap-up of the round. The Winners is your one-stop shop for all the round's best highlights.
The Winners, Sunday, 7:30 local.
Happens all the time. Oh yeah. It gets into your mind. Oh yeah. A voice you're telling you. Oh yeah. Only Hungry Jacks will do. Oh yeah. I just gotta have it. Oh yeah. They let me at it. Oh yeah. Time to Hungry Jack it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I overheard something today. I think they were talking about assassinating President Zawani here at the UN.
In times of misunderstanding,
The last thing we can afford is to have some foreign leader get popped on our soil.
the world needs someone to break the silence.
Do you think you could identify the voice you heard if you heard it again?
Yes.
The Interpreter. Commences Sunday on Showtime. Wednesday on Headliners. More from the secret tapes of former Hawks captain Peter Crimmins and his courageous fight to play on and repay the faith of those close to him.
Definitely want to play football to prove to the people who I do feel I let down.
In part 2 of the Peter Crimmins story, Headliners tracks the emotional visit from Hawks teammates after their 76 flag.
He was so excited.
Probably the greatest emotional highlight of my whole footy career.
Don't miss this Headliners exclusive Wednesday.
Friday night football at the G, and the story so far. It started with the timekeepers in the news this week. Watch my index finger. And away we go. They were in form. First goal, Jamar. Top of the square. Melbourne did that a lot. He kicks from 15 metres out and gets it. And then this youngster making his debut tonight, Lynden Dunn, the set shot at goal. His first league goal. Melbourne led it by 13 points. Ablett to Chapman. Wonderful snap. Melbourne by 6 points. Henry Playfair took a very good mark after that one, and we see the timekeepers getting back on the horse. You've got to. Cameron Bruce starting the second term with a nice goal. Cats by a point. Kane Tenace from 50 metres out. The margin still a point the Cats' way. Gary Ablett takes this mark and puts it through. The Cats led it by 7. Russell Robertson gets on the end of an errant kick, gets the goal, and the Cats led by a point at half-time. Third term, and the Cats came out firing. Ablett, wonderful goal. Look at this, magic to his own advantage, and dribbles it through. Cats by 12 points. How about that? Rivalry round. Was it a headbutt? Not according to Durr. At the other end, Robertson from long range. Cats by 10 points. Magic at one end from Ablett. At the other, it's Davey, and he puts it through. Cats by 10. Danaher delighted, though, as the Demons come storming back, and they lead by 3 points at three-quarter time on Friday Night Football.
They do indeed. Don't go away. It's going to be a beauty. I can't see either side blowing the other one out of the water. It's going to go right down to the wire. Neil Danaher, the coach of the Demons, pretty animated, as you would expect at three-quarter time. Mark Thompson also had a very long chat with his charges. Eddie's in the balance. 3 points to margin. Quickly down to Tony Jones.
Yeah, well, I tell you, the most animated, though, was Brad Green, who's taken to this captaincy like a duck to water at the moment, so to speak. He almost had Jeff White in the headlock, and he brought the huddle over close to the defence for the Melbourne fans. Boy, they pumped the Demons.
Duck, you look like a duck, Tony. Thanks for that. Big last quarter, this.
Yes, and so much on the line, too. He's been very good tonight.
Melbourne playing a 7-man defence here, and Geelong at the other end a 4-man defence.
Demons by 3 points then. Umpire tosses it up. Ottens and White. Ottens won it down, stolen away by McLean, who's had a wonderful night towards half forward. Bruce couldn't control it, tracks it out towards the boundary. Robertson trying to shepherd. Bruce put a teammate under pressure there, but they work it forward. Nicely done. Maloney gave it back to Bruce, but the kick bounces inside the 50, making it tough for the Melbourne forward. Davey, though, improvises off the ground, but only as far as Slade, and Slade's away.
Hasn't got a lot to go to. Gets caught by Davey. He was Davey. He ran him down. Sylvia slaps it out. Byron Pickett. Ottens with him. Stripped the ball from Pickett. Pickett lays the tackle and kept it alive. Got it from Enright. Inside 50. The toe pokes Davey. Little depth deflection with the toe. Bate couldn't make something of it. Slade. Rook. And hacked out of the area by Melbourne. He gets it wide. Chance for Chapman. Gets it off the deck. Boundary line might be an option. Bartram's with him. And Bartram helps Chapman take it over the line.
See, Brad Ottens wasn't smart when he was trying to make ground, make position when Slade was bringing the ball out of defence. He actually ran to Pickett instead of running away from him to get into a position to receive the footy.
Holland doing the ruck work against Mooney. Ball slips to the back. Uze. He missed it. Bartel didn't. He missed the target with the handball. Godfrey caught back by Bartel. Bell. He didn't pick it up. Ottens rakes it in. Then he got one hand free to try and get a handball out. McDonald. White. Ablett stole it. Can he make something of it? Got the handball out. Kelly caught by Rivers. It's tough. Ball comes out to White. Releasing handball back to Uzain. He chips it to Maloney, who's got it to the half-back flank.
Got to wait now to get some options.
Sylvia calling for it, but Maloney decides just to take his time here. Told to play on, so he's run out of time. The mark is taken by Bate. This game has belied his years tonight. He's got a lot of experience, just drifting into the hole, backs himself. Close to the boundary line here. Kicks it out of bounds. Does he on the full? No. McLean got across there in just the nick of time. He's been terrific, McLean. His 25th possession falls short of the target intended for Bruce. And the angle Slade gets across there, sensing the danger, and knocks it out of bounds.
A lot of footy now being played between the two 50-metre arcs. All pushing in. Big contest around the middle, leaving their respective forward lines open. Probably Melbourne's more open than Geelong's. They hope to win the footy in the middle, run with the footy into the forward line. Cats are a bit more conventional up their forward half.
Thrown out of side, falls behind the pack. Socket forward by Maloney. Bartell in the opposite direction towards midfield. Uze arrives quickly. Lays it off. Bell's in trouble. Confronted by Melbourne. Trying to wrench the football out. He's tackling anybody with an arm shot there. Melbourne will have a ball up.
Holland v Mooney. That match-up still alive after the Mooney kiss. Slade picked it out of the area. Mooney and Holland. Mooney almost had it. He chested it to Wojcinski. Caught. Green doesn't really want to let it out. Gets ridden. And we'll get a ball up inside 50 for the Cats. They led by 21 points in that third term. Geelong, Melbourne hitting back. Last goal of the third term to take the lead. Ottens and White. Ball knocked down to Ablett. And he started up again. Bartell kick half smothered. Kelly. Chapman from 45. High towards the goal square. Big fist comes, and a good fist by Green. In fact, he stuffed it into the behind post. The behind would have been better for Melbourne. And we'll get a ball in.
Everyone bar Russell Robertson and Matthew Scarlett in this half of the ground.
Boundary throw in. Otten hooks it down behind. Chance for Kelly. Between Kelly and Ablett. They lost the football. Coming away is White. And he chips it just outside the defensive 50 where Bruce takes the mark. Wants to go. Eventually lays it off to Uze. Uze kicks beyond the wing intended for Bate. And it's a good mark. Like this youngster.
Well, Josh Hunt's just got to tighten up on him a bit. He's winning the footy.
He wasn't far away that time.
No, but he's the slow play on the other side of the ground.
Bate inside the 50. Coming back with the flight of it. Slade didn't touch it. Marked by Scarlett. Goes across the ground. Indeed they are. Wojcinski, who can run, wants to take on White. White trying to corral him. Wojcinski eventually indecisive. Well done by White. Diving in there is Ottens. And Geelong misses a golden opportunity and cut back pay for it. Ottens is penalised. McDonald will get the free kick. Well, Wojcinski knew what he wanted to do, and that was outrun White, but White just backed off him. The old rope-a-dope. Now, McDonald across the ground. Good kick to Uze. Can take it and go. Well, Props quickly moves it down towards half forward, and McLean slides in and takes the mark. He's about 75 metres out. Brock McLean. What a game he's played. Spots a man moving to space. Any one of a couple, but it wasn't a good kick. Fell short of Robertson, who applies a strong tackle. And Rook is slung across the boundary line.
Look, there's nothing wrong with wanting to win the footy, but as that kick went in, 3 Melbourne forwards led to the one piece of ground. You've got to separate those Geelong backmen. They did very well late third quarter when they did that. Separate the backmen.
Davey, half free kick not paid. Maloney with the banana to the goal square. Robertson! Did he hold it long enough? No. Enright takes it away. Bartell chips the kick to the midfield. Gardner couldn't take the mark. He couldn't take the half volley either. Pickett just into a tackle. Got a handball out to Rivers. Well played to Bartram. Too far out to score. Chips. Bate. He's done everything tonight. Can he hold this? Knocked away. Tucked up against the boundary. Takes on Chapman. Handball back in Pickett's direction. He looked up. He was away and he didn't pick it up. Gardner. Chapman. Just throws it on the boot. Big long talk. Wojcinski was caught behind.
Well read by Green.
chips it wide to Rivers, and they can reload the Demons.
Rivers beyond the wing then. Bate once more. Kicks it inside the 50, coming across on the angle, but not getting there in time was Johnson. Robertson takes the mark on the lead, right on the 50.
He's been enormous since half-time, Russell Robertson, and Wojcinski playing defensively on Brad Green as a forward. Just got to read it better.
So that's a good point there. 3 or 4 times since half-time, you can see his thought process on the game. It looks like somebody's had a year out of footy.
He's going for distance. Robertson long towards the kick-off line. A lot of pushing. Nobody touched the football. Davey, elusive, flicks it back. Uze keeps it alive. McDonald. Davey bounces off the ropes. He's back in. He kicks towards goal. Miracle. How about that?
The build-up to that is what makes it great. That putback that you spoke of, Dennis, that is just a bit of genius. And then to go back and get it, just have a look at this. He stops it for Uze. Watch this. Just there. Gets it back. That's unbelievable.
And the kick? How about the kick?
That's unbelievable.
Hard to believe no one wanted Aaron Davey in the draft. He spent 2 years at Port Melbourne until finally someone gave him a chance to play.
Well, he along with Robertson after half-time have just turned this, not turned it around, because Abbott was doing his best to turn it around the other end, but gee, they've been good.
And they stretch the margin beyond a goal. They get to take away the Cats. Bouncing ball. Melbourne, good tackle by Bruce. And the ball jarred free. Knocked wide by Travis Johnston. Not really a handball. Slade, slung, and that'll do for McLean. He's having a brilliant game. A career-high 27 possessions for Brock McLean so far tonight.
Leadership has been fantastic too, Dwayne. At three-quarter time, he was great.
Uze trying to knock it through there. Slades at the base of that pack.
What are the Cats got to do now, Jim? They've got to just try and open it up a bit, maybe for Abbott to work a bit of magic. He just keeps running into bodies.
Well, they do, but they're not even winning it at the clearances. They're a very good contested footy team, but they're not winning it around the ground anymore.
Demons have got the edge. They lead by 9 points. Jamar and Otten. Jamar directs it down. Maloney to Davey once more. Davey somehow finds a way through. Robertson outnumbered, getting a hand to it with Scarlett. At the back of the pack is Johnston. Brought Scarlett down. Geelong have got more around the ball, and eventually weight of numbers almost told the story. Bate, strong tackle on Slade. Eventually, though, Johnson comes through for Geelong to Corey. Kicks it down towards half forward. Gardner, awkward bounce, beat him. First back will be Bartram, closing on him. Chapman, what a wonderful tackle. It lingered. Play goes on. Knocked towards the line by Bruce. And it simply trickles across. Wonderful stuff from players of both teams.
8 tackles for Brock McLean.
Third quarter, Drano, 12 to 6 for tackles. That was one of the things that helped turn the tide a bit.
Ball to the back. Good mark taken by Johnson in opposition to Davey. After Maloney got the clearance. High inside 50. There's the spare man. Green playing loose in defence. The behind will do him. And it's an 8-point margin.
Now, Brent Green's playing loose in defence, not as a Glenn Archer type who'll run with the flight and spoil it, although he's done that on a couple of occasions. It's more to get his foot skills coming out of defensive 50. In that department, they've been a little bit shabby, and he cleans that and tidies that up.
Holland, a strong mark on his chest.
Wojcinski is Brad Green's opponent. He's just getting a bit lost in the tempo of the game, Wojcinski. I'm a big rap for him, but I'd probably assign somebody else to him right about now.
Around the other side, the Holland kick. Corey, Mooney brings it back towards the middle, and Ling runs inside the centre square. Little chip towards half forward. Mark is held by Playfair. 65 metres out. Wojcinski in the clear, but not a good kick. This will make it difficult for him. He does have pace. Right on the 50. Does he overshoot the target? Almost to mark to Otten. So you have to stretch. Leaves his case, the ball off hands and out of bounds. It will be thrown in the pocket.
Now this is the area where the likes of Gary Ablett is just super dangerous. Hasn't got even into frame yet.
From the ball in, you just saw the Friday night footy record of both teams. Uze lost it, and we'll get a secondary ball in.
Kingsley spent a lot of time in the goal square. For a man that hasn't won any footy, he's taking up a lot of space down there.
Back into play. Jamar against Mooney. Uzo collects this one. Sends it towards the wing. Bate. Brilliant. Traps this beautifully. Goes to Johnston. And flying out of play by Egan. Good tackle. And we'll get another ball in. 8 points the margin. 11 minutes from time.
Now have a look at this setup here. Geelong set up on the defensive side, so they'll want it to come to the right of screen.
McLean with the outside of the boot. Maloney, the look-away hand pass is good. Johnston, a problem initially. And McLean, right half forward. Not a good kick, but he must be very tired. It floats out of bounds on the full, and how about that?
He got 2 on the head then, Robbo. One the footy and then the fence.
Didn't feel a thing, Robbo. Meantime, the game goes on.
McLean only played 78% of the game, too.
Did that go out of bounds and then he played on? I was watching Robbo. I was concerned. Here's Ling, got it from Scarlett. Out his side wing. Milburn, he's running. Here come the Cats. Milburn has the bounce, goes inside the forward 50. Kingsley, well, he met his match there, and he has for most of the night. Carroll has been terrific, crashing into that Pat Maloney. In the opposite direction is Mooney. Just sets it up. Green comes hard, 2-fisted away. Bell fumbles, controls it. Untidy hand pass, but effective enough. Maloney with support. Johnston around the corner. Now oozing into space. The one is left side. Straightens up, had all the time to do that. Kicks it long inside the forward 50. Robertson goes to ground. Scarlett is first back. A wry look over the shoulder towards the umpire from Robertson. All to no avail. Around the outer side goes Enright. Taken by Melbourne. He'll do it again. A sense of deja vu. He's running once more. Touches it down. Now goes to Adem. Look at the acceleration. Pulls away 55 metres out. Big leap at the back from Ottens. Off his fingertips and across the line for a behind.
The style of game that Melbourne are playing is going to wear them down. It is a lot of run and carry to push up and get a contest. That's why there's half a chance for the Cats still. Just got to open their forward line. It is so crowded, and Brad Green's got to play on a player who might look like kicking a goal.
Green found Holland, who finds McDonald, and he waltzes his way around Ottens. Long kick. Uze's in the box seat. He has to go, Uze. Egan came hard. Knocked it down. Boundary line the Sanctuary. And we'll get a ball in.
Well, Wojcinski's been moved away from Brad Green. Now, I wouldn't mind the doc having a look at Wojcinski. I know he's had the knee operation, but he really looked like he was labouring. It almost looked like groin problems when he was chasing his man into his own defensive 50 before.
White, Maloney, Bate, Davey from 50. Tries to spear a ball home. Hasn't got the skin. Scarlett, last line of defence to Enright. If he gathers, he can go. He didn't gather. He can go, though, to Corey. Chapman, the target on the wing. Davies chasing. Look out. You don't really want to pick it up. Chapman knew that. Rolled it towards half forward. Close to the boundary line. Rivers overran it. Place there was there. Gardner. Free kick to Melbourne. Just as Gardner was away.
Now, Milburn's gone down to play half forward. Not a bad move. He draws the footy.
And he's half smart, too.
Yeah, so Green's now got to play much tighter on him.
He's more than half smart as a footballer. He's hung on to that a little bit.
He grabbed him, didn't he?
Rivers? Yeah.
Bruce. Just misses Bate. Behind is Holland. Close to the boundary line. Squeezes a kick along that boundary line. Good result for Melbourne. Then it's Johnston. Backs it out.
Plenty of time left. Now Pickett just comes back on for Melbourne. It's been so important over the past fortnight.
White and Mooney. Certainly locked up there. Bate once more. Head down. Comes in hard. Grabs it 52 metres out. Towards full forward. Well, Bate has had a blinder. 19 possessions for the young man. Just read it best.
Really good signs if you're a Melbourne supporter. Bate, McLean, Lynden Dunn's debut game, Bartram, some good young kids.
No, not going to cook Wojcinski. It just reeks of somebody who just hasn't played enough footy. I know he'll probably have had all the game time in the reserves earlier on this year, and I'm a big rap for him. It just looks like he's still out of sorts.
Big check this one. Big check. Melbourne stretch their lead.
They've given themselves some heart attacks over the past 3 weeks, Melbourne, and their supporters and coach. 3 games decided by less than a goal. This has been, there's still plenty of time left, but it's been a pretty good, well, better than that, it's been a very good performance. They get the points and it'll become an outstanding performance. Fair bit of character, but the Cats still in it.
5 goals in a row for Melbourne. Uze's first. And the Demons out to their biggest lead of the game, 13 points. Martel can't get the takeaway and will get a secondary ball up.
You mentioned Matthew Bate, Dennis. He's had 19 possessions and played just over half the game.
Amazing. Mooney and White. Bate over it again, but they're over him. Bartel's got him. Well, the umpire will bounce it. 85 plays 72. Played 17 minutes in this final term. Ball slapped down. Geelong side of the pack. Carroll couldn't pick it up. Bartel to Ling. High ball. Play fair's under it. Rivers with him. Ball slapped down by Rivers. Otten's over it. Platforms. And we'll get another ball up, but this time on a half-forward flank for the Cats.
10 marks for Bruce to go with his 27 possessions. We said coming in he was averaging 25. Geelong get a free kick. Joel Corey's got it. Wants to go, and umpire Meredith insists he can come back.
Downfield, so Cameron takes it, okay?
Oh, there you go. Didn't go very far, but it went some distance.
So the free kick was played behind Cameron Mooney.
Yes.
So the kick is taken from the closer of the two, and he's closer.
Beautifully flown. Mooney, centering kick. Luckily falls to that smart player we were talking about, Melbourne, but his kick is offline. Didn't miss by much. Needs to be watched carefully. Green to bring it in. Taking all the time he's allowed. Will be called to play on. Yes. Amber is the new green. Kicks it out towards the outer side. Taken away by Uze. And he kicks it out of bounds, or does he? Yes, he does. He trickles across the line.
A great result. There was everyone in the half of the ground again, and that is the way Melbourne have played since halfway through the third quarter. Push everyone up the ground and then run it through the middle with numbers. They'll start again here.
Danaher writing this one out. Maloney dragged down. McDonald over the football, told to knock it out. He did that. Ling picks it up though. Hooks it back. Look out. Going back with courage, Carroll. Well played, Carroll. Slaps it out. Another possession coming up for Bruce. A hand pass. Not a bad one either. Green. Good talking. Well, Maloney had time. Goes to midfield. Loose ball. Who will be first back? In front is Corey. Did Sylvia get into his back? Not according to the umpire. Tenace a fumble, but he's got plenty of time across the half-back line. Kane Tenace. Kingsley pokes the mark, coming up to his 6th possession. Plays on immediately. Telling kick inside the forward 50. Rivers got a hand to it, and Green, who moments ago was in the middle of the field, puts it out of bounds. The umpire's going to slow it in well.
Same spot as King Milburn.
Yeah.
That Milburn screaming at his teammate Ken Kingsley, who's running off the ground, because he led into a great position to receive.
Ablett, he could be the one. Right. Half court, gathered it back, kicked it wide. And is it a behind? It's just straight in for a score. So the Cats 2 goals from the lead. It's an 11-point game. Travis Johnston entrusted with the kick in. Big consequences for the loser here. Chip kick wide. Uze. Too much time left to try and take the minutes off the clock now. He chips it wide. Bruce runs the half-back flank. Sends it towards the wing. Bates down there. So too Sylvia. Boundary line would be a win for Melbourne. And it's out of play. We'll get a ball in.
What they do again, Dwayne. Win possession. Advance it. Get it out of bounds. Start again. It's been very, very effective. And it takes a lot of courage and a lot of fitness to run, and that's where Green and Bruce and McLean have been fantastic.
Ottens knocks it down in front. Johnston running out of space, taken across the line by Rook.
Leave him up.
No, they're not scoring the Cats, but really if you just take the last 5 or 6 minutes, Geelong have had most footy. The D's have held them out pretty well.
The Cats haven't kicked a goal in this term.
No.
Ottens slapped it down. White, quicker recovery. Well done by McDonald. Maloney now Pickett storming through 55 metres out in front of Davey. Almost the mark. Goes after it again. Close to the boundary line, Davey. Picked up by Scarlett. Good composure. Ling took all these a lot of time. Kicks it very high towards the wing. Going back. Oh, what a wonderful mark. White. Well, I'm not sure it was. Neither was the umpire. Thrown out of there by Gardner. McDonald knows it's down there somewhere. Egan, a hand pass at close quarters. Coming out of the pack now, Gardner. Did well. Chapman. Chance for the Cats. Ling kicks towards half forward. Melbourne back in number. Over the top. Bell got a fist on it. Leading in the race though. And sliding the ground. Milburn. Ablett falls over. But not before he got it to Bartell. Long kick towards full forward. It's a goal. Cats still alive.
Well, those two little mud runners we talked about. Bartell and Gary Ablett. And when I say that, I say it with all the due respect, calling them little mud runners. They are super players. That wasn't a mark, by the way, if you're a Melbourne supporter, because they are bleeding at the minute. That was not a mark with your fight. So that's another direct goal assist to Gary Ablett. Every time he gets his hands, what's that, number 4 for the evening? Goal assist.
3 goals now for Bartell, and this was not a mark.
There's still going on about it here, Dwayne, the Melbourne supporters. Not a mark. Great goal to Bartell.
5 points the margin. The clearance here all important. Ottens tried to knock it down, but he knocked it to Johnston. And the clearance Melbourne's way. He sends it wide. Robertson, and he can hold it up.
He has to too, Dwayne, because the Demons played a 9-man defence then and got no one forward.
No one in the goal square. Big flyers go up, and it's knocked through for a behind. Pretty good result for Melbourne.
Oh. Another draw, Dwayne.
Hope the sirens are all right.
Can they test it, really?
Egan's got into space.
How can he use it? Corey to himself. Punches one up the middle. Oh! It'll be interesting to see this again. That was wonderful by Rook.
Hey, he made a spoil on it. He knew what he was doing to make contact with him, but he made a spoil.
Yes, a revolt. Opportunity there for a Geelong player who didn't have the football. Play goes on. Carroll. Bate hurriedly inside the forward 50. Scarlett appeared to be held by Robbo. They battle as they go back after this one. Scarlett still being held, kicked to behind.
Handy point, dare I say. And they're going on with a bit. There's Scarlett.
50 metres at best here.
Oh, put him down.
No, he didn't. Okay, he dived.
Inconclusive.
No, he dived. Touched him on the back, but he dived.
But
they gave him the bird.
Good. Calm heads here. Yeah, there's the 50.
Keep an eye on that. Watch this.
Nothing in that. They're going to get it going quick. The Cats.
Time with Melbourne. Ball with Geelong. Torpedo. High. Rivers got a hand to it. Back of the pack. Godfrey. He's crumbed it and he's sent it towards the boundary line, but Ottens will get there first. Toes it back towards Chapman, attacking 50. Great tackle by Bruce. That could be a game winner.
They are the number 1 tackling team in the comp, Melbourne, right at this point in time.
He was the Brownlow medal favourite this time last year, Cameron Bruce. He's had another outstanding start to this year. Bate looks to be tricked. Umpire saw it, and he can take some time. Even if he's not hurt, he might as well make out he is.
There's a dribbling, this young man here.
Chip kick wide, so they've played onto advantage quickly, and Uze holds it up.
His 11th possession in this term. Now the play on, just pops it across to Bruce. Approaching 2 minutes left. Geelong with some work to do initially. They've got to get the football back.
Yeah, they've got Aaron Davey 1 out. Inside 50, 60 metres. They can get the ball up.
Bruce, his 30th possession.
Neil knows Dump it long. There's enough of a crowd 55 metres down the line to take it over the boundary again if there's any risk whatsoever.
He remembered he was on camera as well. Looked up and his worst suspicions were confirmed. There goes Chapman. Big leap there by Hunt. To Nace. Dragged down by Sylvia. Johnson controls it, in trouble. Carroll missed him on the way through. Gardner. Now Ling to centre half forward. Chapman waited over the top bathroom. And it will be a Chapman free kick. 55 metres out. Clock is down to 1:39. 7 points the difference. And that hurt.
Yeah. Forearm across the
wow.
Sandwich between elbows. Malachi crouch.
Off the turnbuckle.
Well, courageous. You know he's going to stand his ground. I'm not sure at this late stage in the game whether he's going to be able to go the journey.
They're lined up in a straight line with these backmen, so there's room for a lead out wide.
Sorry, Jim, that Ottens has spent 25 metres there. He's got to get the square.
Can he make the distance? Well, obviously not for the drop punt. Tries for his spiral, and that could be all. Green, the captain, fitting. He's going to fine play tonight. He's taken this mark about 15 metres out. Play on's the call.
They'll have to kick to a contest.
No.
No, soon. Within 40-50 seconds of receiving the ball, you have to kick to a contest. That's basically the way it goes in league footy.
Can you stretch that to 57?
No, they'll man up, play man on man, and you'll kick to a contest within 50 seconds.
Robertson out of defence then. High ball towards the wing. Carroll at the back dropped it. Sylvia goes after it. Still in there. Geelong needing 2 scores to win, and you doubt they can do it now. Tough, uncompromising stuff still to Nace. Only as far as the teammate Melbourne slaps it out there, but in the wrong direction. McLean tries to soccer it forward. Mooney hasn't got the football, no free. Bruce lost it. Bartell brushes aside friend and foe and kicks it long down towards the pocket. They need a goal. Goal at the unlikely man with a chance, and he's missed. A goal the difference, and the clock went backwards again from 10 to 11. Why?
All comes down to this kick in. They don't turn it over, they win.
He's got to dump it long. He would know.
Robertson chips it. Bartram, a little juggle.
Well,
chips it over the top.
That's it.
And Bell has got it. And Melbourne have got it. They've come from 21 points down to great victory. They've come from 3 losses to start the season to win 3 in a row. And they are jubilant. This season is back on track.
And what about their last 3 games? Their last 3 wins, Melbourne, 5 points, 4 points and 6 points, and before that a 5-point loss.
Yes, Neil Danaher will deserve a beer tonight. I'll tell you, I reckon that's one of the best Melbourne victories I have seen for a long time. Let's listen to the song here at the MCG Melbourne's home ground. Not sure the smile's quite there now. This showed a lot of character, a lot of guts. Geelong Footy Club, premiership favourites after 2 rounds of footy. They've got some work to do, but Brad Green was the skipper tonight. He led them to victory magnificently. He's down on the ground with Tony Jones.
And he led by example too, Gary, you'd have to say. Brad, congratulations, an unblemished record as captain.
Yeah, it's just fantastic getting out there and get a win, you know. We're under the pump early in the season, but, you know, we've got 3 wins in a row now, and it's just fantastic for the team.
Well, I tell you what, you were written off when you were 0-3, but now you go in as 3-3 and place in the top 8.
Yeah, it's fantastic at the moment, you know. A win like that in the wet, and, you know, good opposition against Geelong. It's just great to get a win. It's just a great buzz.
When was the last time you played in conditions like this?
Oh, it's been a while, but the MCG held up well.
Yeah. And what about some of your young blokes? They held up well too, didn't they? You got some very, very bright prospects there.
Yeah, Matthew Bate and Clint Bartson, these type of guys that are coming to the team. Lynden Dunn played his first game tonight, and you know, they're going to be super for the Melbourne Footy Club.